Ahoy, landlubbers, it's me, your Captain Vasco speaking, and welcome to another Friday, which currently, because things, including Fridays, change over time, means that it's time for some more 999, one of my favorite games of all time. You know, I didn't go into that sentence planning to do that, it just happened. So you decide if that was a problem. It is Friday, September the 30th, is almost October. Uh, we've figured out what we're streaming tomorrow. It only took like a whole lot of effort to get it working. Can I just put like a plea out into the universe that we put windowed mode and like resolution scaling into games as like a standard thing in 2022? It doesn't seem like the biggest ask in the world, but I swear to God, it is killing me how many games don't have that and then generate a significant number of problems as a result of just that. Like, no other thing, just that. Plus, like, every time I find a game that does that, it has, like, a unique way of making it a problem. It's not even the same solution fixes all of them. It's awful. I hate it a lot. I would love for people to just add windowed mode at the very least, but, like, resolution scaling would be greatly appreciated also. With that rant out of the way, because I spent like 2 hours just trying to get OBS to capture a window yesterday after all of that. Um, it's time for 999, which isn't the thing that was giving me problems. Of all the games I've played in the last month, 999 is the only one that like wasn't really being a problem. Um, so last time we got our first ending to the game. It I don't know if it would have been considered a spoiler to talk about various endings. I think visual novels typically have multiple endings. What it means to have an ending or for there to be multiple endings sort of varies from game to game. But in this game, we found quite the ending. So we went through the number 2 door. We finished the torture room puzzle, which involved a button combination scrawled on the belly of a dead shark. That's like a totally normal thing. But once we sought our way out of the torture room, we were met with the scene of almost everyone we've met during the course of the Nonary game being dead. Also, we found a yellow submarine. That was fun. Eventually, we died too. Like, everyone was dead. Every character that we know about was dead. Someone killed us. It's unclear what that means, but death awaited us, and we sure met up on time. So once we did that, we had a internal discussion in the form of a poll, and we revisited the start of the game, meaning that we went back to the first choice of numbered doors rather than going through the entire explanation of the Nonary game. And as I explained at the time, originally there was no flowchart in this game. In fact, I had to spend some time today looking up certain things about how this game's flowchart works, because this game works a little differently than its sequels, and this was of concern to me, trying to make the thing run, or at least to not accidentally incur some massively redundant thing of some sort. I think I understand how that works well enough to avoid that particular pitfall, but who knows? We'll find out together, won't we? But anyway, we went back to that first choice. We chose the door we didn't the first time. Originally, we went through the number 5 door and went to the first class cabins, and this time we went through the number 4 door with Lotus and Santa and June, and we went to I think the canonical name for the place you go is like room like 92 and 93, which is weird. But we sought a way out of there. There was some talk about the Titanic. There was actually a great deal of talk about the Titanic and predicting the future and time traveling and futility. Just like a lot of like nonsense. Oh yeah, something about like crystallized glycerin and like a really hot mummy that was made of room temperature ice or something. Just like a whole lot of stuff. And we made our way out of there. We found our way into the kitchen. Did some more puzzle solving, much like when we had gone through the number 5 door. There were sort of 2 puzzle rooms back to back. So we briefly locked ourselves in a walk-in freezer. We made a bomb out of dry ice, a water bottle, some rope, and a pipe generating running water. It was a lot. Like, a lot of stuff happened. We cut a password note out of some pork, and then we hexadecimaled our way through a safe, and we left off right as we had swiped our key card to leave the kitchen, and we didn't know what our fate was. I'm gonna let this scene run out. We may quickly notice that we find ourselves in a somewhat familiar situation. Once we do, we'll talk about the flowchart some more. But let's bring up the game and hope it's working, because nothing's working lately. That's exciting. Got that music, got my headphones set up in a way that will hopefully not cause the game to stop generating audio, if that is actually the problem. Just nothing but problems. How are you doing? Hello, Alcadius and Neko, and everyone. Hi. So yeah, I think we've been here before. We have, in more manners of speaking than one. What's interesting is I think the last time we came here, this door was closed. I think this door was closed.
The elevators are over there, so that means...
I was briefly mentally unprepared for there to be voice acting. I am really out of it. I've had 2 pretty rough work weeks in a row, and I've had like a whole month of just technical issues with streaming. And I mean, it's all mostly for a good cause, but like, I'm not operating at 100%, so please bear with me and we'll try to have fun. Let me know what you think about the game. I haven't heard a lot of theorizing or anything. We did find an awful lot of corpses around that submarine, though.
We went into the kitchen through that door and came out on this side.
Nicholas says, all of those cheese wheels, an immaculately frozen fish, incredibly old milk. It's true. We found, like, specialized barrels of old milk, and, like, for some reason, one of the characters briefly entertained opening it, which is just a horrific idea. Just, please, no.
That means the map was right.
Looks like.
Then let's use it to plan our next move.
Next move?
Yeah, we need to decide where to go from here, don't we?
He's right. Let's get started.
From the looks of it, there are 4 possible routes. Let's just keep it simple and call them A, B, C, and D.
You know, considering the naming scheme that we used when we all wanted code names and they had to correspond to numbers, I'm kind of surprised we didn't go with, like, A2, Roman numeral 3, and Delta, or something like that. That feels like that would be in keeping with just how we do.
First, A and B.
They both seem to connect to a room that looks L-shaped.
Yeah, there were 2 doors. But they were both locked. We couldn't open them.
They're both locked equally.
Now, route C. This goes all the way to the main staircase.
That means it's door 5, one of the numbered doors.
You know, I gotta tell you something. I don't actually think the maps in this game are, like, great. They're fairly internally consistent, but, like, to like, look at this, it's, like, pretty difficult for me to ascertain almost any useful information. Like, this over here, like, right below me, this looks like the main staircase. That's pretty clear. This over here looks like a coliseum or like a horse track. This, you know, this kind of looks like a radiator over here. That's not helpful. And then, like, he's like, yeah, this doorway leads, like, all the way back to the main stairs. It runs, like, directly next to the main stairs from the looks of it. It kind of doesn't look to me like it leads anywhere. I mean, at least not from the perspective visible to us. That could be a dead end or something. It's like, look, the Titanic is, like, over 100 years old. Google Maps didn't exist. Map technology was what it is. I'm just saying, this isn't the most helpful map.
Then do you think we would meet up with the other 4 after this hallway?
No, I don't think we will.
Why not?
Look, there by the stairs. See how the gate is open? When we went into the kitchen, it was closed. But it's open now. What do you think that means?
Well, seeing as I did this in reverse before, I'm pretty sure it means that they found the Venus key, I think, is the one that opens those shutters, and then came through here. And then they went through the 2 doors you said were locked that led into the casino, and it came back out here and then went into whatever the remaining route of the 4 you didn't list was, into the hallway of many doors, is my theory.
They opened it.
Most likely.
And if we take Route C, we're going backwards.
That would be pointless.
Then that means...
Route D, then.
D it is.
All about that, D. Nico says, thinking back to the awful game that is World's End Club, Zero has to be June. But June isn't the murderer. Zero only wants everyone to play games for convoluted reasons. That's an interesting theory. I can't tell how much of that is just you being sarcastic or how much you believe that. But considering any reference to World's End Club, you know, I can't imagine that that came from a rational place.
Yep, Route D.
Then we're set.
You believe
Everything
it?
looks
We'll-
okay
we'll,
here.
We'll find out, huh? I mean, it is. You raise an interesting question. I'm not sure anyone has like really asked so far. Neko is like, is basically like why. I mean, the characters have maybe touched on it briefly, but not in any depth because basically, with the amount of information given to us, all you could really do is be like, why would Zero go to the trouble of bringing us here and doing all this stuff at all? There aren't any really hints as to why. Is it just wanting to play games? I feel like there might be an easier way than setting up an entire sinking ship, but, you know, I struggle socially, so maybe if I tried that, it'd be, like, better for me. And thank you for the 62-month resub. You'll be working as you play the official English release of The Legend of Heroes Trails to Zero. Well, that feels like an appropriate title, all things considered, but thank you for the lurk. I hope you enjoy. Keep an ear out for opportunities to vote on things such as which numbered door to take. As I mentioned before, I'm really intent to let chat choose its own adventure for the time being, since I already know what up. Here, also one of these. Hooray. Huzzah.
Let's check the next deck just to be sure.
Yeah, just like I thought. D-Deck is totally underwater.
Just like the bottom of the central staircase.
At least the water level hasn't really changed.
Small comfort.
May as well head back to C-Deck.
What else is here?
May as well head back to C-Deck feels like a real understatement. It suggests that on some level, he, like, sincerely weighed the possibility of just, like, diving into the flooded area of the ship. Like, what other alternative would there be beyond those two?
There are 2 elevators over there at the top of the stairs. Just like the floor above.
Hold on. These are kind of different.
Well, I mean, that is kind of how elevators work, though, just to be fair.
See? There's a card reader on the side.
Another strange mark.
Hey, look! It's Lotus's symbol.
Huh?
You know, the last time we were in this hallway with a different group of people, we made this joke and Seven thought it was hilarious. Lotus is right here. I can't help but feel as though she will not appreciate the joke as much as Seven did.
See? It's the woman symbol with horns on it. That seems like... Oh, ouch, 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 ouch.
It's a shame that we got another bad end so quickly, as we were surely just beaten to death. That's actually a really good line read. I like that a lot.
What was that about the mark again?
Nothing.
This is a Mercury symbol. The horns symbolize the wings on Hermes' staff.
Hermes, herpes, whatever. If we can't get this thing to work, these elevators aren't going anywhere.
In other words, we need a key card with the Mercury symbol on it.
We're all just gonna let that herpes comment slide? Alright.
Probably.
I guess we can't get on then. Let's just disregard the elevators for now.
How about this hallway on the left?
Man, such blatant disregard for elevators in this game.
Whoa, there's so many doors.
Damn it. If we try and search all these, the sun's gonna go down before we've done half of them.
It's night. We started at like 9 p.m. And at this point, we're like maybe 3 hours into our time limit. Not quite, I don't think. Also, Monty Hall would have a field day with all these doors. Do you have any idea how many like goats and stuff would be here? Oh, that show would be nearly unwatchable just trying to follow the logistics of like one Monty Hall problem. Good lord.
I think the sun already set.
I have a feeling this ship is the only thing that's going to be going down anytime soon.
That's even worse.
Well, we can come back to this hallway later. Let's check the hallway on the other side, shall we?
Time to head back to the stairs.
And now the right hallway.
There are doors here too. Well, I guess it's just 4 this time.
Oh no, my door allergy's gotten in the way again.
Let's open them.
All right, let's start with this. Huh, it isn't locked. I'm going to open it.
All right, everyone prepare yourselves. I'm going to open a door. It's important that you prepare yourself for the door opening. Hey, look, we found this room again. Go us. I'm proud of us.
What the hell is this? This place is huge.
Oh, there are beds everywhere.
500 of them.
Is this a hospital?
It definitely has the smell.
Could be.
Oh, no, that was me,
Some
sorry.
medicine cabinets and surgical tools.
Hey, look there. The 4 doors at the end. The left door says 3. The second door is blank, but the third has a 7. And the rightmost door is 8. There's no doubt. They're numbered doors.
Why is the second door blank? That seems kind of strange, don't you?
No point worrying about it right now. Let's see if these will open first.
Yes, that sounds like a good plan.
It's not a good plan. It's a plan that doesn't make any sense.
Oh, it's no use.
Well, of course. If it was that easy to open these doors, what would be the point of the notary game?
Then why did we try it? Why did that? You literally, specifically, just said it was a good idea to do that. And now you're like, well, obviously that didn't.
We have to activate the red, or the numbered doors won't... Wait a minute.
What's wrong?
Look, the display on the red. There's nothing on it.
Huh?
Don't you remember? The red at the central staircase? If no one was inside, it said vacant.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But this one...
I remembered
There's
it because I
nothing
couldn't
on
stop
it.
thinking about Zero watching me poop.
Right?
I wonder if it's broken.
Only one way to find out.
It's not responding.
How about the red on door 7? And door 3?
None of them are working.
What does it mean?
I knew it. They're broken.
It's a little interesting. I forget whether it's Snake or 7 when you come through the 5 door, but like one of them like observes the physical absence of the parts almost right away, I think. And here they just go about trying each individual door and finding that none of them works.
Zero sure sucks at maintenance.
No, that's impossible. You really think Zero, who prepared all of this, would make such a stupid, simple mistake?
Maybe, but that doesn't explain why this thing ain't working.
Look, if attention to detail was a thing that we could just accept that every single person had, then like why even have job interviews, you know?
I believe the bottom of the device has been removed.
Snake!
It's Snake! Look, everyone, Snake's fine. That's exciting.
Ace! Clover! 7!
How?
How did you end up here?
That's my line?
Perhaps we should exchange information.
Alright, do you have your insurance card with you? Oh, he meant something different than a car accident when you exchange insurance
There you have it.
information.
Our half of the story.
Okay, let me see if I got all this straight. When you guys got here, the bases for the Reds were already gone.
And you looked all over this room, but you couldn't find anything.
So you figured that there might be something in the hallway with all the doors.
So you went and had a look?
It's a little interesting to me that they bother to make it so one of the 2 doors between 4 and 5 is canonically easier to get through, or shorter to get through at the very least. And you could argue that, like, the time gap is sort of accentuated by getting trapped in the freezer as, like, a sub-game situation. And I wonder how that plays out. If you're playing the number 5 door, does anyone still get trapped in the freezer, or does that somehow not happen? But regardless of which door you take, whichever team goes through the 5 door gets here first.
Yeah.
And while you were looking around, you heard voices.
Uh-huh. So you followed the voices and came back here.
Indeed. And that was how we found you.
Why don't we check those 3 reds again, just in case?
You're right.
I heard that they upped subtrains. I think you have to change some setting on it or something. New challenge. Demolition, as generous as you are, I'm not sure that you can solo a level 30. I'm pretty sure you shouldn't do that, at the very least.
Huh. There's a long, thin gap on the bottom.
Demolition asks, if you're not there, does everyone freeze to death sharing ice facts rather than trying to escape? See, that's part of why I wonder, is like, I don't immediately recall any part of the game where they go into detail about, like, their experience in a particular room. And it's like, if you don't go in there, like, how do they get out of that room? Also, I don't remember exactly how all the digital routes shake out, but, like, if there's ever a combination of people that doesn't include Lotus that has to go into the number 8 door with the laboratory and the robot and the computer and the hacking, how do you get out of there?
I think it's a slot for something. Probably electronic.
Probably one of those newfangled 8-track tapes.
Well, this isn't good. If the red is inactive, we can't keep going.
Well, what about that hallway over there? Isn't there anywhere else we can go?
No, there isn't. There are plenty more hospital rooms, but nothing else.
Hospital rooms. That's what's behind all those doors?
Yes. There are a number of individual rooms in addition to this large one.
Man, there's something very ominous about building this much capacity for sick people onto a single ship that's, you know, ostensibly built in the form of a cruise liner. Like, what did we think was gonna happen? Like, Montezuma's scheme for world domination? Just like an absolute brownout?
There was a door at the end of the hallway, but it was locked.
Like it says they were preparing ahead for COVID. But if that was the case, these cots here are definitely not socially distant.
There was an astrological symbol engraved near the keyhole, however. I was able to get a good feel of it. I believe it was the symbol of Jupiter.
Not again. Those goddamn things are everywhere.
I hate learning and planets and science.
I wonder what they all mean.
While we're asking what things mean, what's the deal with this room?
What's the deal with this room?
I thought this was a cruise ship, but I can't imagine a cruise ship would have a hospital like this.
I mean, at the very least, I can't imagine it would have, like, this and then, like, a hallway filled with additional hospital rooms.
Well, I figure it's probably a hospital ship. Chances are it's the Gigantic.
The Gigantic?
What is this gigantic?
The Gigantic.
It's big.
She was a sister ship to the Titanic, built in the early 20th century.
Alright, give me a second. I'm gonna check the flowchart now. Okay, it still says that we are before the junction point. When we get here, I think it will be safe to skip ahead to the point in time where we choose our next door from the hospital. It might be the lightest of spoilers at this point, but because all the rooms meet up here, leading to the hospital, ultimately we will find ourselves with a similar choice to last time. To choose a different room. Or, I mean, we could choose the same room, is an option. But we will have that choice to make yet again. And it will be relatively soon. But I'm going to let him tell his story. Some of us could probably use a refresher. I know some people in and out and all that. Arcadia says gigantic. A word to describe something big. An example. Lotus's chest is gigantic. You know, like, someone has to write the dictionary, you know, Arcadius, and it feels like you're a good candidate at this point.
Actually, the Titanic had 2 sister ships, and they looked exactly the same. The Gigantic was said to be one of them. They intended to make her a passenger liner like the Titanic, but World War I began soon after the ship launched. The British Navy took her over and made her a hospital ship. At some point during the war, the Gigantic was damaged by a German mine in the Aegean Sea. She ran aground afterwards, so she didn't end up sunk. What happened to her after that? One theory going around is that a man named Lord Gourdane bought her. Seemed like he'd been one of the few to survive the Titanic sinking. That trauma turned him into some kind of obsessive collector of all things related to the Titanic. Soon enough, the guy wanted the Titanic itself, which was impossible, of course. It's stuck at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean.
See, that's quitter talk right there.
But the Gigantic wasn't. And seeing as she was identical...
Whether you think you can resurrect the Titanic or you think you can't, you're correct.
So you're saying this Lord Gourdane bought this ship?
Yeah, at least I think I am.
He actually bartered a goat and a few chickens. It's a weird deal.
That's impossible. No way we're in some boat that's almost 100 years old.
Pipe down, just pay attention. What, that's it? Well, have you got any proof?
I mean, my favorite thing is to imagine that, like, that not only is the boat, like, 100+ years old, but that, like, basically no alterations were made. Like, these numbered doors and the bracelets and all that. Like, they just had those on the Titanic.
Proof?
Proof that this ship is really the Gigantic.
Well, this ship's got stuff that's like the Titanic and a hospital ship. So, I just figured...
Oh, for goodness. Don't tell me that's your only reason.
And I think I said this the last time we encountered this dialogue, or something very similar to it, but, like, it's more evidence than nothing, and we've mostly just had nothing to go on this whole time. I'm not saying you accept it as fact, but I don't know why you'd get mad about it.
No, I've got more.
Nico says the Titanic only sank because the passengers failed the first non-array game. I think Neko gets it. I feel like Neko's dialed into this game.
Like?
Well, I mean... I don't know.
I guess your memory isn't back yet, is it?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, I'm sure his memory would allow him, like, an encyclopedic amount of knowledge about this very specific, obscure situation. I don't know what's changed happened. Demolition is evidently looking up facts on the change to hype trains. I hadn't heard it was uncapped. I had heard that level 47 was possible. So it just scales with the number of viewers. If you somehow got, like, 20,000 concurrent viewers, you might be able to get higher. Is that how that works?
Hey, whoa, wait a minute. Memory isn't back?
Oh, that's funny. See, this is a good attention to detail. This is the type of attention to detail that I feel like the Somnium files, maybe not the first one as much. The Nirvana Initiative definitely, like, fails this test like a tremendous amount. Like, the attention to detail in that game is, like, way subpar. But, like, we didn't spend any time with Seven, and he didn't say it during his introduction, which he noted on the other pad. So this is the first time that Junpei has heard about the amnesia in this pad.
Yeah?
Your point being?
Wait, was I the only one that didn't know?
See, that feels like everyone else failed.
Why?
Oh, yeah, I guess I didn't tell you, huh? I told the rest of them before we ran into you on the stairs. I told them I couldn't remember a damn thing from before I woke up.
What?
Uh-oh, it's time.
Huh. A bell.
It sounds like the clock in the main stairway. 10?
It's incredibly loud because it feels like it's not that far away.
12. 12.
Time to make the donuts. Oh man, can you imagine? I bet the Titanic had really lousy donuts. It's funny to me, like, I totally get why you do it, but there's something kind of funny about, like, they play 3 bells ringing, and then they skip, 7 more, and then they're like 10, 11, 12. it's like kids counting before hide and seek and like skipping ahead. They're like, all right, count to 12. 1, 2, 3, peaks. 10, 11, 12.
It's midnight. Then we've still got 6 hours left, right?
We don't have any time to screw around.
That's always been true, but we've been screwing around like kind of a lot, to be honest.
Let's get going. We gotta find the missing parts for the Reds.
Is that true? Okay. Did you actually watch an entire video just about the food on the Titanic? Because that feels very specific. Middle class and above sounded really good. I could imagine that, like, the first class food accommodations would be good. I'm a little surprised that, like, middle class would be, like, noteworthy. Also, is more a commentary on the fact that, like, donuts probably... I don't know when the first donut was made. I think it's proposed to be possibly in America, so, like, can't be, like, super duper old. But, like, I just imagine that, like, they were less good, is all. Or videos, to be specific. I mean, that's a lot of it. That's a lot of dedication. You would have been a great asset to Zero, is what I'm saying.
What do you mean, find? How on earth do you propose we do that?
We've looked everywhere in this room. That only leaves one place to look.
Our pockets?
One?
Well, not just one.
Oh no, the dialogue doesn't quite match the subtitle. Oh no.
Wait. Don't tell me you mean we need to search all of the other rooms.
Don't freak out. We've already searched 4 of them.
4 rooms?
We just have to split up the rest between the 8 of us. If each of us can do 6 rooms apiece, we'll have the other 48 rooms cleared in no time.
There are 48 other rooms?
Maybe?
It did
All right,
match again.
so everyone knows which area they're searching?
It was written, I don't know, and he said maybe.
Yeah.
Yes!
We'll all meet up when the clock goes off again. How about in that room with all the beds?
Yeah. Sounds straightforward enough.
I'll shout if I find any of the components we need.
I hope we can find them within the time limit.
If we can't, then we'll just have to come up with another plan.
Right.
Then let's do this.
Let's get this done.
It's 1. I better get back to the others.
This implied that basically a whole hour passed. This might be where the flowchart junction happens.
Huh?
I'm guessing that's probably true. I'm gonna run it a little bit longer and make sure, because I think I know what'll tell me where I am. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
What are they doing
And me makes
over there?
7.
What happened, guys?
Jumpy, look!
Vacant.
Hey, alright. That means that I can enter that room and do my business. Number 2. Although we haven't found the number 2 door yet. Oh man, that's what the world needs. There should be like a Zero Escape themed like restaurant or something, and like the bathroom is marked with the big red number 2 on it. That's what we need. That.
Come on, guys. Who was it? I thought we were supposed to yell if we found it.
And obviously it needs the red with the vacant on it. And that's how you know. And presumably everyone... Like, you have... Like, only paying customers can use the restroom because you have to use your bracelet to, like, indicate to the red that you're using the number 2 door.
Well...
Castle Arg asks, do I need 2 people to enter the bathroom? Well... 2 to 4, a group of 5 is allowed, but regrettably, yes. That is unfortunately one of the rules of this restaurant or whatever it is.
What the hell? What is up with you guys?
Listen, if you all don't have good enough friends to like go to the bathroom with you in an uncomfortable situation, like I don't know what to tell you. Other than, like, go try to sink a ship, because I'm under the impression that that's a good way to make friends.
Well, that's the thing. We don't know.
You don't know?
When I got back, it was already like this. There was no one else here. That means I was the first one back, but the missing parts were already back in the red.
What? Let me see.
I
You're
mean,
right.
we already saw that it was
It's in
vacant.
there. What about the other two?
They're the same.
Let me take a look.
I don't trust you enough to believe that. I have to also visually confirm.
It's just as you said. All right, I just want to be sure here. Nobody has any idea what the hell happened here. Right?
Correct.
None.
Huh. Wait a minute. Where's Snake? Does that mean that he found them?
He was just fine. And you can't leave that guy alone for 2 seconds. Because he's the number 2 bracelet. It's 2 seconds. That's all you get.
I've no idea. There's nothing to suggest it. But nothing to suggest he didn't either.
I don't suppose we'll know until we can ask him in person.
Well, whatever he did or didn't do, he's pretty damn late. What the hell is he up to?
Maybe he's lost.
Yeah, well, that seems likely. Dude can't see. I don't know how he gets around in the first place.
You ever seen Daredevil on Netflix?
No! That's impossible! Yeah, my brother's blind, but he's got really great hearing. He can get around as well as anyone who can see. So he couldn't get lost. That's
He'd also
impossible!
He'd also make a really good lawyer, probably. Which I mentioned not just as like another Daredevil joke, but also, when I started this, I joined the
I don't need a
subreddit.
map to get to Bonetown.
That's true. If you have the navigational capability as good as anyone else, you probably don't need a map to get to Bonetown. That's true enough, Demolition. I thought I had actually already been part of the Zero Escape subreddit. Apparently I wasn't. So I joined that, and for some reason, there's just like an endless amount of memes about Miles Edgeworth from Ace Attorney and Snake basically being the same person. I don't know why this is. People are really into it. Hey, Angel, welcome to the stream. I hope you had a good sleeping time. I guess she always thinks the quotes are happening in game. Always? Even Jason?
She's even stronger than my mom.
That's right, Clover just said that. You thought that Snake was saying he didn't need a map to get to Bonetown? That would be quite the way to make an entrance. I'd approve of that. Angel, thank you for the 41-month resub. Much appreciated. I think I might have found a workaround for my workaround to make this button more effective. That only works with the most recent update to Stream Deck, and thus I haven't had time to test it. Because like all my free time yesterday was making the game for tomorrow work, and I'm still like 90% on that, so we'll see how that happens. All right, like drama's happening.
I'm gonna go look for him!
Hey, hold on, Clover. Wait! Well, that didn't work. Damn it.
Good exchange.
What should
good
we
exchange.
do now?
Well, the red is working now.
No! We're not leaving 2 people behind! We should go look for them!
It is in fitting with the conversations we've had with Future Lotus.
This ain't good.
Just like leave a bunch of people behind. She does not care.
Oh, yes, what an excellent idea. We just wasted a bunch of time looking for some piece of electronic junk. Now let's waste some more by looking for a couple of idiots.
You never know, man. Sometimes you need a couple idiots.
Then remain here if you feel you must, but there's no time.
That's actually an interesting observation, Echo. It'd be valid because Snake would not need a map to get to Bonetown. I assume somewhere in the world, like a map coded with Braille exists, right? Or is there just like presumed like no need at all for a blind person to ever like? You still gotta get places. Obviously, they're not gonna be driving. That's very dangerous. But like, I feel like a map might still be like at the very least like a subway train map or something like that for like a metro area.
We've only 5 hours left.
Let's split up.
Although I like super definitely don't recommend like reading something by touch that exists like in the subway. At least in the US, I feel like it's just gonna be gross.
All right, I'll take this direction.
Okay, hold on. Flowchart, tell me your secrets. We're still technically here. What? No, wait. Yeah, that's sufficient. So, basically, what is about to happen story-wise is we're gonna go look for Snake. And we're gonna check every available space to us. And it's technically slightly different in that instead of going back to the casino, which like we did by going through the number 5 door previously, we would like go back to the kitchen. My understanding is like we can just circumvent that. Like, I don't think any of the character interactions are meaningfully different. It's up to you though. If anyone in chat would strongly like to witness us wandering around looking for Snake, spoiler alert, we're gonna have the same amount of luck. That's why the story doesn't branch significantly here. Speak now or forever hold your peace, because I feel like we probably don't need that. You don't mind? You know what? That's fine. It's not gonna take a ton of time, but I'm gonna go through the dialogue quickly. All right? I will refrain from excessive editorialization. And if you have already seen it, go get like a drink or a banana or a donut or some other edible thing. Maybe something that would have been available on the Titanic.
Then I shall look that way.
I'll be over here.
This is a sort of authentic experience because, as I explained last week, you had to play the entire game over again. When you got a game end, it would kick you back to the start of the game, and it would like the save file would track your endings, but you'd have to like go through.
See you all later.
All right, we should go too.
Yes, let's go. But where should we start?
Let's see.
And we can go to the... Wait, we can go to the casino? The game also has like a weird way of remembering this. In that it only remembers that we chose the first class cabin option because it was the thing that I chose first last time. I don't think order matters. It might make things slightly different. But it's just kind of weird that, like, obviously I've chosen all of these things, but, like, it only remembers choosing one because it remembers it in a very specific way. Let's go to the hall with all the rooms. We were just there. Presumably, something would have happened with Snake while we were there. Was it in his rooms? Did we check his rooms?
We should go check out that hallway with all the rooms.
Okay, let's go, Jumpy.
Oh, it's Ace.
Hey, Snake! Where are you? Answer me if you're there!
What should Junpei do? Talk to our good buddy, Ace.
Ah, hello there. Snake is... Well, that's obvious, isn't it? I assume you haven't found him yet?
Yeah, doesn't seem like you're having any luck either.
I really wonder where he could have gone.
Well, wherever he's disappeared to, we must find him as quickly as we can. For Clover's sake.
Maybe he found the number 2 door and is trying to take a number 2.
Right.
Use knife on Ace. What do you have against Ace, Neko?
By the way, do you think Clover and Snake are really siblings?
We haven't firmly established whether we left the knife behind in the kitchen. It seems pretty reasonable to try and keep it with you, although it seems kind of difficult to conceal a knife that large, and also to do it safely so that you don't accidentally stab yourself while wandering around a sinking ship.
Why would you say that?
Why? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? They don't look alike at all.
Yes, you know, now that you mention it, they don't. Still, there are a great many siblings who do not look like one another. It certainly isn't rare. At any rate, we really must find Snake as soon as possible. The clock is ticking. We really can't afford to waste any time. Very well. Let's get back to the search, shall we? You can leave this area to me.
All right. Let's go, Jumpy.
Something about that was... I'll think on it later. Like Ace said, finding Snake is our top priority. All right, where should we go next?
Let's go to the casino, baby!
Let's go take a look around the casino.
Okay, let's go.
Hey, what do you think you're doing?
Isn't it obvious? I'm looking for Snake.
I'm just not seeing it.
Really? Maybe you need to look harder.
I don't think that's the problem.
Is that an invitation?
Oh, by the way, I've got a proposal for you two. Care to hear it?
What is it?
Well, I don't like to beat around the bush, so I'll get right to it. Why don't we team up?
Team up?
Yeah. What? You need me to explain it to you? I'm saying, why don't we go through a numbered door?
Even if we wanted to, that's impossible.
Why?
Jumpy's bracelet number is 5, mine is 6, and yours is 8. Our digital root would be 1. But there's no number 1 door in the large hospital room. The only doors there are 3, 7, and 8.
Then we add another person.
Huh?
Who?
What? Isn't that easy? 7.
Oh, if we add 7, 5 plus 6 plus 8 plus 7 equals 26. The digital root of 26, 2 plus 6 equals 8. Wait a minute. What about the other 4?
For some reason, I really wanted him to be like, wait a minute. How'd I do all that math?
Ace, Snake, Santa, and Clover.
Well, why didn't you add them up?
1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 10. And 1 plus 0 equals 1. The digital root for those 4 would be 1.
That's right.
And you know the number 1 door isn't in the big hospital room, right?
We did just establish it.
Of course I know that.
No! Are you saying you'd leave them behind?
Of course not. What kind of woman do you think I am? Once we get off the ship, we could come back and rescue them. Then we wouldn't really be leaving them behind.
Don't try to lie to us. I don't think you do anything of the sort.
Really? Why do you think that?
You remember, don't you? We have less than 5 hours left.
Demolition theorizes that Zero isn't some crazy person. They're just a really committed math teacher who wants their ex-students to learn to appreciate the maths at the same level that they did. I would love a story like that, where it's just like, because you know, like there's kind of like a lot of anime that works in that way, where like a whole class of students will be, you know, put in some like weird fantasy dangerous situation. I mean, World's End Club even kind of works like that. It'd be really funny if, like, you know, you think of some like great scheme from some evildoer, and it's like, no, it's like Miss Jenkins, and she thought that we didn't appreciate math enough, and so she proved that even though we all have calculators in our pockets all the time now,
to escape.
like, we would use math on a daily basis. Although, admittedly, I don't think digital roots count. I don't think you typically do those on a daily basis.
There's no way we could come back to rescue them in less than 5 hours.
Well, you never know until you try.
No, you're not thinking this through. Even if we brought 7 with us, we wouldn't be able to get off the ship. The 4 of us couldn't open door 9. It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9.
Gotta seek a way out, bro.
Yeah, that's right. The digital root for the 4 of us would be 8, so we'd have to add Ace to make 9.
That's right. Unless we bring Ace too, we'll be stuck.
Oh. Well, that's unfortunate.
Unfortunate. That's all you have to say?
Well, let's try and find another way, okay? A way to get out of here with all 8 of us.
That's impossible. Are you being serious? And you do know that only 5 people, at most, can go through one of the numbered doors, right? The number 9 isn't going to be an exception to that rule. Regardless, at least 3 people will get left behind.
Man, you didn't design the game, you don't know.
Huh?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Maybe there'll be like a note on the number 9 door that says, hey, just a heads up, this one works different. That seems very plausible, right?
No. Wait just a second. You're skipping over a really big detail. Is that really okay? That means 3 people will die in the end. Are you okay with that? That's just...
Do you think I could have a moment alone? There's some things I need to think about.
That didn't turn out to be a very pleasant conversation.
Yeah. Well, regardless, let's just focus on finding Snake for now, okay?
Yes, you're right. We can think about those other things later.
Yeah. Alright, where should we go next?
Let's go to that first class cabin.
Let's go take a look at the first class cabin. It's really close.
All right, I wonder if this branch actually touches on it. I think the other one does. It's like actually a specific reason why we can't go back to the number 4 door stuff. And that's because 7 specifically goes out of his way to block open any door he goes through. and no one else does that. So if he's not in the group, that door's not accessible without going through the numbered door side again. Like I says, I'd like for one of these sorts of mastermind games where things constantly go wrong in the background that the mastermind hasn't planned for at all. I mean, a lot of like mastermind style anime is kind of about that. Not like all the time necessarily, but there's a lot of like a lot of the drama comes from like, you know, the mastermind character's sort of infallible, and in those shows a lot of the time they're like the protagonist, even if they're sort of morally gray. But like the drama sort of comes from like things going wrong. Also, that is sort of what happens in the first Somnium Files game, arguably. But again, I feel like that game undersells the interesting parts of that story, so it doesn't emphasize it, even though that is true.
Are you alright? Look, I know you're really worried, but...
Alone.
Hmm?
I said leave me alone! You're so annoying! Just go away and leave me alone! Go away, okay? Just go somewhere else! Stop bothering me!
Alright, Castle Arg, maybe she was saying clone. We don't know. She was mumbling.
Why are you still here? Didn't you hear me?
You know, if it wasn't written out, I might think that she was like asking for a loan. Like maybe she found like a vending machine on the Titanic and like needed $1. Yeah, right, Neko? She's got debts to pay. I've been there.
Forget it. If you aren't gonna leave, then I'll just...
Alright, let's go, June.
Yeah.
We really need to find Snake, for Clover's sake. So, where do you think we should go next?
Somewhere else. Glad to go back to the hallway with all the rooms.
Hey, why don't we go back to C-Deck? We can take a look at that hallway with all the rooms.
Okay, let's get going then.
Is it different now?
Oh, nobody's here. Let's look somewhere else.
But where?
We still have that option. Let's go to the large hospital room, because we've done all the things.
Why don't we go back to the big hospital room?
Okay, let's go then.
Hey, wait. That's... Santa?
Standing in front of the 3-door for branding. What should Junpei do? Talk to him. Be
What are
social.
you doing?
What? You can't tell? I'm checking out the red.
Why? Is there something bothering you?
What? It's not bothering you?
Huh?
The guts of this red. Why wouldn't you wonder who the hell put it back in here?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm curious too, but
Who do you think did it?
I don't know.
Well, what about you, Junpei? Who do you think fixed this thing for us?
The real Santa. I think it was Zero. We joked about this the first time. I think that Zero did like a whoopsie, and then we got here and was like, oh shoot, forgot to double check that. Hey everyone, why don't we go check all of these rooms for like a whole hour, and like don't come back to this room at any point during that hour. But like eventually this will work out. Just like don't come out here.
I think it was probably Zero.
Why?
Isn't that obvious? He's the guy who set this whole thing up.
You don't think that should mean the opposite? Seems to me like that means he didn't do it. I mean, who do you think took that stuff out in the first place?
Probably Zero.
Yeah, exactly. And why the hell would he put him back in after he'd taken them out himself? It just doesn't make sense. Why do all that work?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
He just seemed really mad at his own point.
So, what happened then? Who put that stuff back in the Reds?
So, in other words,
Someone who made a financial investment that was not sound. They put us in the red.
one of us is the person who fixed the red.
Bingo! We have a winner.
And that's probably also the same reason why Clover needs a loan.
But if that's true, then the person who did it doesn't want the rest of us to know that they fixed it.
Yeah,
But why?
no idea. Maybe if they come clean on that, it means we'd find out something else. Something bad.
Something bad?
Dunno. But whatever it is, it's gotta be worth hiding. Of course, it could have something to do with Snake's disappearance.
You think maybe they did something to Snake?
Yeah. Look, if you trust anybody in this game, you're gonna lose. You gotta be careful. The person you trust the most could turn out to be the one who stabs you in the back.
And that's that, I guess.
Was that conversation more or less pleasant than Lotus's conversation? June is not amused. Where should they go next? We're done. We finished searching.
Snake hasn't been anywhere we've searched. And we can't keep looking for him. Wherever he is, it's not here. We need to get moving.
We don't got a choice. Lotus is right.
And trust me, I hate saying
We're not
that.
gonna find Snake. There's a problem, though. We've got to figure out who's gonna go through which door.
Yes, I have a proposal.
You always got a proposal.
Why don't we decide on one person to sacrifice?
Sacrifice?
Well, perhaps that's a bit of a harsh word, but yes.
Might be a bit of a harsh word. Why don't we say murder by omission?
You've all figured it out by now, haven't you? We can't all make it through those doors. If we split into 2 teams of 4 and 3 people respectively, then 3 people will be left behind. If we split into 2 teams of 5 and 2 people respectively, then 2 people will be left behind. But if we split into 2 groups of 3 and leave 1 person out, then only 1 person will be left behind.
Man, it's gonna be me, isn't it? Always leave me out in gym class. Leaving behind 3 people with 2 teams of 4 and 3? She was right.
Then you're saying we gotta decide who's gonna stay behind.
Yes, we do. Given our circumstances, it's logically and morally the best solution. If the other 6 are to survive, then 1 person has to sacrifice themselves.
No, that's too cruel.
What's so cruel about it?
To just sacrifice someone like that?
Then what's your plan? Maybe we should sacrifice 2 people instead of just 1.
That's not what I meant. We shouldn't sacrifice anyone.
I told you, that's impossible.
That's against the rules, and we don't have enough money to screw the rules.
Wake up.
Whoa, whoa. Calm down, you two. Look, what Lotus is trying to say, you should aim to bring the greatest amount of happiness to the greatest amount of people, right?
Exactly. That's how democracy works. And for that reason, I think the only fair way to decide who will be sacrificed is through a vote.
Oh man, I gotta tell you, in 2022, that feels like a really optimistic assertion. That's how democracy works, is making the most people happy. Ooh, does it? Is that how it works? Got a few years of experience, like, I'm not sure about that so much.
What do you think?
No,
I'm not asking you. Shut up.
Gus Lark says, Junpei, have you heard of the trolley problem? Did any of you see... Didn't they like put the trolley problem on like a Yu-Gi-Oh card or something? I honestly forget if it was a meme or like a real Yu-Gi-Oh card. But like I saw a thing going around there like, yeah, this is like, I could definitely imagine like a Yu-Gi-Oh character just like activating the trolley problem trap card and then just going into like a Zero Escape style like theory info dump about the trolley problem in the middle of a card game. And I'd watch it. I'd probably technically have watched it between the two.
What about you, Santa?
Me? Well, I agree, I guess.
All right, that's 1 vote for. Counting mine, that's 2. 7.
I can't say I agree with you, but we don't exactly have a choice. If we don't do something, we're all gonna die.
Hey, why don't we try not doing something?
Huh, glad to see you get it. If I can get 1 more vote, then it's decided. What about you, Clover?
Interesting that like Clover got her own whole camera angle. Everyone else have just sort of been like standing up next to Lotus and then presumably sitting down so that they're out of frame.
Hey, Clover. Your brother has to be behind one of the numbered doors. We've searched everywhere, but we didn't find him. Doesn't that mean he has to have gone through one of them somehow? Let's go look for him together, okay? If we sacrifice 1 person, then we can go look for him. You agree with me, right?
Okay.
The motion carries. Now, let's start a vote to...
The way she says that feels so unnecessarily evil. I don't know why. The motion carries. I am the Senate. Unlimited power.
That won't be necessary. I will stay. That should solve our problem, yes?
I don't know. Around here, we sort of have a tradition trying to solve problems with knives. Do you happen to have one, Ace?
Ace, what are you saying? No, you can't do that. That won't solve anything.
June, I'm afraid you may have misunderstood me. I said I would stay, but I never said I would sacrifice myself.
Huh?
I trust you. Each and every one of you. I believe you'll come back for me.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. There's optimistic, and then there's just nuts. Those doors only go one way. You go in, you don't come out. If we go through them.
You won't be able to return, correct?
Yeah.
True, but that will not be the case once you've escaped from the ship.
What?
Please, I beg you. Once you've escaped, come back and rescue me. Ideally, within the time limit Zero has given us.
No, that's ridiculous. There's no way we could get back in time. We've only got 5 hours left. We don't even know where the hell we are. How on earth are we gonna find someone to come and rescue you?
Then, perhaps you would prefer to stay instead of me? Or perhaps you would be willing to leave June behind? You see, there's no other choice.
Oh, Ditto, we're about to sacrifice someone. Specifically Ace, because he's volunteered himself. And, spoiler alert, but we've already sort of watched through this decision-making process. He's not going to give us a choice in the matter.
Then I see we've come to our conclusion. Go on. Don't worry yourselves about me.
Don't worry. I won't.
Go, quickly.
Good. Let's accept his kind offer then.
You know, I feel like everyone's reaction here is too extreme. I feel like everyone's like a little bit too upset about Ace making a reasonably sound decision for the greater good, and also like Lotus is like way too into sacrificing people.
Good. I think this is the best for me. Perhaps I'll be able to take a nap.
To summarize, Ditto, since you just showed up, now I assume you know the basic mechanics that we can only go through numbered doors if a group of us has a digital root of their combined bracelet numbers that matches the one painted on the door. There's 3 doors here and not enough people to split into 3 groups that will actually be able to go into these numbered doors. So the most efficient way to do this is to have 2 teams go through doors simultaneously by leaving 1 person out of the 7 in our group currently behind.
It may be my age, but I get tired so easily these days.
He also seems really excited about this now. He was very happy when he said that.
Well, what are you waiting for? We're wasting time. Why don't we hurry it up?
You're right. We should get going. That's all we can do right now.
7.
Seriously. Honestly, I was getting kind of sick of listening to you guys talk.
You too, Santa?
I have to find my brother.
Lone.
Wait, all of you. Let's just calm down and think about this.
You're actually the only one of us panicking right now.
There has to be a way to get everyone out. There has to be. Right, Jumpy? Say something.
Yeah, let's think. There's gotta be another way.
Fine. Forget about it. I'll figure it out on my own.
But I was agreeing. Okay, bye.
Ace! Come on, Ace. Please stand up. We just have to sit down together and think about this. We'll figure out a way that we can all get out of here. Ace! What happened? Ace, say something.
She told him to stand up and then said we needed to sit down, and then he lied down on the floor. He's just being contrarian at this point.
I'm all right.
How are you all right?
Jason.
This.
A syringe? Soberil Beta. What does this do? Did you use this?
I think it stops the chatty ghost from Lamplight City from talking to you while you're trying to sleep. I think that's what Soperil Beta does.
Yes. It's just anesthetic. I'll be fine.
Anesthetic?
I found it earlier while we were searching the hospital rooms.
I was hoping it was harder stuff, but I'll take what I can get on this
I
boat.
thought it might be useful later. I didn't think I'd be using it on myself.
Why did you do this?
Didn't I tell you? I'd like to take a nap.
I feel like you could have just, like, taken a nap. There's, like, a zillion beds in this room. It's essentially the only thing this room has.
I really am very tired.
Ace,
Hmm? Is there something you want to say? I just like to sleep a little. Could you keep it down?
no, don't, Ace, don't fall asleep.
You feel warm, so comfortable. I think I'll have a nice dream.
I'm going to turn you into a pillow.
Sure.
Ace,
Let's get him up on a bed.
Oh, darn.
Yeah, it's a real shame that Grandpa
Well, we
Ace
really
is
don't
taking
have
a
a
nap
choice
and he
now.
can't go with us into the deadly
We
escape
can't
room
let his
situation.
sacrifice go to waste,
Picture an egg.
right?
Like you even mean that.
You say something.
Alright,
No,
should
nothing.
be just about time to make the decision, chat. So, I pose it to... Oh, no, that's not what I need. While I click through the rest of this, I'm going to try running a poll. If I can manage to not just be super bad at everything. Okay, new poll. Door number 3, 3, 7, or 8. And I will remind you that the door we took last time was door number 8, which led to the laboratory. We can take that again. But we can also try a new door, and if we do, we'll get new puzzles.
Yeah, but we're not done choosing yet, are we?
Huh? What do you...
Well, we haven't decided who's going in what door.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's true.
Enough of this screwing around. Let's decide. You first, Lotus. Which door do you want?
I want door number 8. It's the same number as my bracelet number.
Got it. You're 8. You're next, 7. Which one do you want?
Is that an 8 out of 10, or?
I'll take 7. I can't get along with that old lady.
What? What did you just say?
Did you say?
Who, me? I didn't say nothing.
Oh, you're gonna get it next time.
All right, who's next? Junpei, which door do you want?
I thought it was going to take a little bit more finagling. Ah, I see. Yeah, it might be worth mentioning that last time we played through this, we found something pretty upsetting on the other side of door number 3, and I think some people are interested in seeing how that might turn out. Whether the same ragu accident occurs this way. Looks like that's gonna take the vote. Or someone is going to try and balance the vote. We got about 30 seconds left, I think. So those of you lurking, you got 30 seconds to decide. Door number 3, where we found the ragu accident. Door number 7, unknown. Door number 8, laboratory. Where does Santa go? You'd have to do the math to sort that out, I think. If you want Junpei and Santa to be in the same room, together they make 8, so you would need either like a 9, which isn't possible. You would need no. I don't remember the groups. I sort of let the game dictate it. I don't know how we always end up tying no matter what. Alright, this time... Mm, 3 or 8. The lowest I can go is 1 minute. Vote again. If I find out that one of you is deliberately balancing the polls, I will find you. I will deduce the situation. And I will find you. I was supposed to put door 7. It's fine. Look, door 3 wins. Door 3 was winning before the mysterious phantom tried to ruin my day. And, like, just to be clear, if you think you're being funny, you're actually annoying me. So please don't do that specifically for the purpose of making the voting difficult. I'm, like, not trying to call anyone out, but, like, that's, like, actually, please don't. Like, I'm seriously asking you, please don't do that just for the sake of trolling. Please don't do that.
I want to go through door number 3.
It would be a personal favor to me. I'm not saying that, like, oh, it's so mean of you, but, like, I just want the poll to mean something, please. I'm trying to get chat to be involved, is all.
Nope, you can't.
Huh? Why?
Because it's impossible. If we split ourselves into 3 and 3, then we give up on going through door 3.
Why?
The bracelet numbers for the 6 of us are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Uh-oh, I think Santa's the evil math teacher. He's gonna give us a lesson, everyone.
There are 2 combinations that can go through door 3 with 3 people. 3, 4, 5, or 6, 7, 8. That's it. Of course, 2 teams can't go through the same door.
Dude, that sounds like quitter
I
talk.
see. That means one team would get left behind.
That's right.
That doesn't happen if we go through door 7 or 8?
No, they're fine. We've got 3 options. Option A, have 3, 5, and 8 go through door 7, and 4, 6, 7 go through door 8. Option B, 4, 5, and 7 go through 7, and 3, 6, and 8 go through 8. Option C, 3, 6, and 7 go through 7, and 4, 5, and 8 get 8. Those are the only 3 options. That's it. At least if we want to get all 6 of us out of here.
Okay, but hear me out. What if we went through door 3? It says, this guy's playing 5D Sudoku. This is one of the things that I think kind of strains credibility. Like, it's fine because of the goofy, abstract way Uchikoshi's worlds work. But, like, the rapid rate at which people calculate, like, vast quantities of possible iterations of digital roots without, like, a calculator or a notepad is, like, comical. And, like, this is just, like, a running theme through the Zero Escape series. Like, this will keep happening.
Wait. But that means 5 and 6 can never be on the same team. If we want all 6 of us to go through a door, then June and I can't go into the same one.
Have you mulled it over enough, or do you need more time? Anyway, that's the deal, so think it over. You've got 2 choices, 7 or 8. You can't choose 3.
I think the game will actually let me choose 3 again, and then they get upset with me. I
If
think.
you choose 3, you're gonna be leaving 3 people behind to die. So what are you gonna do? 7 or 8? Time to choose.
After thinking it over, his conclusion was... I mean, is it 3? I don't actually recall if they force you to do something, or if they just make you make the choice again. I think in this case they make you make the choice again. There's, like, at least one instance somewhere in the franchise where, like, if you just keep, like, refusing to choose, like, you get punished for it. Use knife on enough people that you can go through 3. Well, luckily, if you do that, you actually have, like, 2 choices, right? Like, 2 different groups can go through there. Yeah, I think at this point, after running 2 polls, we're pretty committed to choosing 3. And I think both Santa and Lotus will just, like, die of frustration.
Sorry, Santa, but I still want to go through door 3.
What? That's nuts! You've gotta be crazy!
Yeah, man, I don't make good decisions. Shut up, dude.
Why the hell are you so obsessed with that door?
I'm just curious about door 3. That's all.
That doesn't explain shit!
I've got a reason. I'd be happy to explain it to you if you'll just come with me.
Oh, that's
I'm curious
right.
about the red. 7, would you mind authenticating for me?
What? Why?
Please, just do it.
Happy?
Yeah, thanks. The number 7 has been entered into the red. Next is June. Please touch the red just like Seven did.
Jumpy, what are you trying to figure out?
This is important. Just trust me. Do you trust me? It always works well when a fictional character asks, "Do you trust me?" And it never means that you can't trust them. So, do you trust me?
Ah, yep. I think I might have found another way out.
What?
Really?
Now please, June.
Oh, okay.
Yes, this is going
All right,
well.
The only people who haven't authenticated now are Santa, Clover, and Lotus.
So, what's your point?
You don't get it. Think about it.
Huh?
What's the sum of your number and Clover's?
12?
And what's the digital root of that?
3.
Which is Santa's number. By the way, Lotus, what's the number that's currently in the red?
7 plus 6 plus 5 equals 18. It would be 9, right?
Yes, and what will the digital root be if you add 3 to that?
3. The door's number.
There you go.
Hey, wait a minute. What the hell are you up to?
I'm not up to anything. I'm just waiting.
Waiting for what?
I'm waiting for the balance to shift. Santa, or Lotus and Clover. Once one of you moves, the others won't have a choice.
Now who is the villain? It was me, Dio, all along.
So I'm waiting.
You son of a bitch! You tricked us! And all that stuff you were going on about is all bullshit!
Yeah, man.
Bullshit. Huh. I don't think so. Didn't I tell you I'd figured out another way to get out of here? This is it.
I wasn't like super specific. I just wanted to get out of this room and you guys weren't cooperating.
Why the hell would you do something like this?
I don't know, man. I kind of suck or whatever. Just put your hand on the plate, idiot.
Jumpy.
You did this just so you could go through the same door as June.
Yeah, man. I'm not a good... Just put your hand on the thing, man.
That's it?
So, who's it going to be? Santa or Lotus and Clover?
Shit!
Let's go, Clover.
Huh?
Fuck!
Oh, no, wait!
Ah!
I mean, there's actually like a super easy way out of this, right? Is if like one from the group of two authenticates, and then like Santa tries, but the other from the couple doesn't, like the door just won't work. So like no one can cheat their way out.
This is insane! This isn't right!
Yeah, well, you may be right.
I mean, hey Santa, you brought this on yourself by like not letting me go through the number 3 door, and now it's just you and our grandpa.
But
Actually, I guess 7's still stuck
Go.
here too, right? He just doesn't seem to care as much.
No.
Demolition asks, can you fray this game if you know the whole scope? That's like an extremely difficult question to answer, because like fraying means different things in different contexts. Fraying is a term that's used in a Uchikoshi game that was released after this. That essentially means using like knowledge from the character's future to like alter the course of the story, more or less. Or at the very least to sort of like cheat. I don't know what context you would apply that to here. Like you can memorize the paths of the game and things like that, and you can memorize like puzzles within the rooms, but like I'm not sure what you mean beyond that.
You son of a bitch, Junpei! This isn't fair!
Like you could like actually remember that you can force your way into the 3rd door and be a gigantic buffoon.
Do you realize what you just did? You leave them out there, and they can't...
Shut it! That's enough!
Demolition, you've just reframed a strongly spoiler-ridden question that I deferred asking previously, and thus I will continue not answering it until I can answer.
We gotta find the dead or none of this is gonna matter! We got less than a minute left. No time for screwing around. Get...
Damn it. You and I are not done yet, bastard! Where the hell is it?
Over there! It's gotta be behind the door!
damn, it's pitch dark inside.
Can't see a thing!
No, wait! I found it! The dead's right over here! Ugh. What? The floor's slippery!
Hey! What the hell are you doing?
I'm looking for jam.
There's something...
Get over there! Quick! Get to the dead!
There it is!
Wow, it's definitely covered in jam. I would not feel great. I mean, like, you don't have a lot of time to consider putting your hand on the dead because you got like 81 seconds not to explode. But like, I am not enthusiastic about touching the dead when it looks like that one did.
It stopped.
Neko says she just had some strawberry jam and would recommend. Okay, so maybe this will turn out alright after all.
I don't think I'll ever get used to doing this.
What the... What the hell is this smell? This is vile. I'm gonna puke.
Oh, you're right. This is...
Let's get the lights on first. There's a switch over here.
Over here by... Oh no.
Okay, guys, I'm flipping
Those
it
are
on.
some really unpleasant footstep sounds.
What?
Hey,
Oh, this is... Looks like an explosion. Just like the Ninth Man. The detonator in his bracelet set off the bomb in his gut.
I like that line read. Like, it doesn't have the overt, like, gagging that some of the previous line reads have had. That's been appropriate, but I like the subtlety of him just... Like, the tone of his voice shifts because he's just trying to hold it back.
Oh god. The bone is coming out of his left arm.
Hate to see it.
it's definitely an open fracture.
Where's that from, Castle Ark? This is raspberry? There's only one man who would dare give me raspberry. That's
This is the
familiar.
worst.
Also, I'm not a big raspberry fan either, so I would have such indignation.
Yeah, can't even tell who it is.
The face is the worst. Guys, I can hear you. Like, I'm the...
What
Okay.
the clothes are.
Spaceballs. Of course it's Spaceballs.
Is that...
Oh my god. Why did this happen?
No! No! No!
June's not a fan of preserves.
No!
Stop! Calm down.
She's more of like a peanut butter girl.
Hey!
Please! Get me out of here! You have to let me out of here! Why are you doing these horrible things to us? What did we do to deserve this?
I think Demolition. I think Chat might have been onto something. I think like everyone here fell asleep in their respective math classes. I think that's what it was.
June.
I feel like that deserves like a little bit of manslaughter and some puzzles.
Please, just let me out!
June. Calm down.
Get off of me! Let me go!
Please, calm down.
I think she's unconscious now. Oh, she just fell down.
We're gonna be fine. It's gonna be alright, June. It's going to be okay. I'll be here with you, okay?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jumpy.
Do you feel better?
Yes. But I'd like to stay here. For a little while, at least. Jumpy's body is so warm.
Alright, everybody else solved the puzzles. We're doing this now.
We better get to it.
Him. Seek a way out. Yeah, that's my first thought too. When she says that, Neko is like, I want to stay here, over by the body I was having a panic attack about. But I'm pretty sure because she follows it up immediately by saying like, Jumpy's body is so warm that she wants him to hold her for a minute before we go about solving puzzles. Let's immediately check over here. That's where we came in. I guess it's not locked, but there ain't really any point. All that's out there is the numbered door. We can't go back through the numbered door even if we wanted to. Those letters written in blood. LLR. Do you think that might be some sort of dying message from Snake? Well, it's certainly not LRR, Loading Ready Run, famed Canadian Magic the Gathering content creators. No, that's impossible. You saw the body. You aren't doing anything after something like that happens to you. Yeah, that feels like just like a glorious understatement. Then this, the way the blood's dried tells you it's real old. Whoever's blood this is, it ain't Snake's. And you're saying this blood was put here a long time ago? Yeah. Can I have this bar? No, I cannot. And I don't think it'll let me look closer at the nightmare stain. Ooh, a bucket. A bucket. It's a tin bucket. Hey, Jumpy. Do you remember back in elementary school when you spilled all our paint across the whole classroom? They made you clean it up and all they gave you was a sponge and bucket like this. Hey, come on now. Can't we just leave the past in the past?
Oh. The rabbit hutch.
Huh?
Oh, you just reminded me of it. The rabbit hutch, I mean.
Man, June is so good at this. She's like queen of non sequiturs. I feel like I relate to June in this way, where like something about the way that my brain is wired is like really likely to just like springboard like 10 thoughts in rapid succession and then just like say something that's like not relevant to the current conversation and be like, I could walk you through it, but it wouldn't really explain anything.
How did I remind you of something like that?
Jumpy and the broom. You're always playing around with the broom in front of the rabbit hutch.
I was.
Don't you remember? You mean, you don't remember that summer either?
Of course I remember. How could I forget something like that? It was terrible.
They were in the 6th grade. Junpei and June had been assigned to take care of the classroom pets, the rabbits. Their chief duty was to clean the hutches every morning. On the final day of school before summer vacation began, Junpei overslept. He rushed to school and found June standing in front of the rabbit hutches. No sooner had Junpei arrived than June began to cry. He had no idea why until he looked behind her, into the rabbit hutch. The first thing he saw was blood. The hutch was filled with the dead bodies of the rabbits. Even after their teachers and friends came to see what the commotion was, June couldn't stop crying.
I just kept crying and crying until you came over.
She seems much too happy to recount that terrible story. She's like, you know, the rabbit hutch. Yeah, it's not like a great story.
You held my hand and you looked very serious and you said, "Don't cry. I'm gonna catch the person who did this." After you told me that, I finally stopped crying.
Well, the real fun started after you quit crying. You told me we were gonna catch the killer together.
You smiled, and a little of the flesh of life returned to her
Then we
cheeks.
decided that we'd ambush them.
Yeah, I remember.
I like to imagine a scenario where they set up like an extremely dangerous trap for like a fellow 6th grader or something. They're like, I'll get the one who killed the rabbits, and then like set up like a military grade landmine and catch them in it. And like this is still like a funny story that we recount. School also kept roosters and guinea pigs. Junpei and June had decided the murderer would likely return to finish off the rest of the animals. That's honestly like a pretty specific assumption that I don't think necessarily has like a basis in reason. They would ambush the killer at night. Junpei and June hid behind the hutch at dusk and waited. It was a warm summer night. The quiet sound of crickets whispered through the air. Sorry. The quiet sound of crickets whispered gently through the air! As the sun went down, the stars began to wink at them from the sky. And June's, Akane Kuroshiki's face. That night was something Junpei knew he would never forget as long as he lived.
but the murderer never showed up. We waited for them all summer vacation, and they never showed up.
Yeah, but the animals didn't get attacked either. I think all that work amounted to something, you know?
He'd felt the same way, but it was good to hear her
Although,
say
you know, if you think about it, we were probably taking on a lot more than we could handle.
What do you mean?
She looked up at him, confused.
Come on, we were just kids. If whoever killed the rabbits had actually showed up, they probably would have had a knife or something.
Knife does solve problems. What do you think Seven and Santa are doing right now?
I mean, you must have been pretty worried, right?
I wasn't worried because you were there with me.
She blushed furiously.
You know, no one else wanted to take care of the animals.
Clearly embarrassed, she tried desperately to change
I
the
was the
subject.
only one who asked to do it at first.
Yeah, well, boys don't really want to bother with taking care of animals, you know?
Well, yeah, but you asked to do it after I did, didn't you?
Yeah, but like, boys don't want to bother taking care of animals, if you know what I'm saying. It's not the taking care of animals. You get it, right?
If it wasn't the rabbits, they were gonna make me do something else. You know how that school was. I figured it'd be better if I was working with somebody who wasn't too much of a loudmouth, right? Somebody who wasn't gonna tell on me if I felt like blowing it off.
Really? That's why you volunteered?
Yeah, it is.
He nodded quickly and much too earnestly, and then quickly looked away at something very important. It was jam or something.
Really?
Of course.
Just like, definitely. That hadn't been the reason, of course. He had asked to take care of the rabbit so that he could be near June. But it had been so long ago, he couldn't bring himself to tell her how he'd felt back then. That's stupid, we're all gonna die. It would be embarrassing. He took a quick breath to clear his head, tossed the broom up, and snatched it out of the air.
Well, we don't really have time to be walking down memory lane like this, you know? We've got to figure out a way out of this room. Otherwise...
I mean, the time limit didn't really stop us from waxing poetic in the walk-in freezer or anything.
Yes. I'm gonna look over there.
You nodded curtly and then walked away. Definitely not towards the jail.
I should get back to it myself. Ah! That's right. The pool of blood.
Exactly was this... I would like to see the blocking of this conversation such that Junpei, like, accidentally walks into this, like, partitioned corner of the room that's full of blood after that conversation. There's, like, an awful lot of room to go to that isn't that. Seems hard to do this accidentally. Junpei looked around the room at Snake's body. Chunks of flesh and organs still laid on the floor.
Going on and on about old times right next to a corpse? What were we doing?
Starring in an Uchikoshi game. What do you think?
Well, maybe it was because we're in this mess.
Despite such a situation, or perhaps because of it, the mind turned to the farthest thing from death that it could find. A story filled with death. Still, Junpei couldn't help but feel a twinge of guilt at wanting so desperately to live when Snake lay dead before
I have to survive, no matter the cost. I need to make sure she gets out too.
As he stared at the clumps of blackened flesh, all Junpei could think of was how much he wanted to live. And also, how much he would love a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. By the way, I got a broom. What are you doing with the broom? Just broom stuff. Hashtag broom. A wooden box. There's something in here. It's luminol. What is this? Some kind of spray bottle? There's something written on it. Lumen. I can't read anything else. The label's all faded. Let me see that. He just grabbed it from it. It wasn't very nice. Oh, this is luminol. You know, forensics guys use it at crime scenes. Oh yeah, that stuff that glows blue when you spray it on blood. Even if the blood's been wiped off, it'll still glow. Got some luminol. Also got... Hey, we really were preparing for the pandemic. We got toilet paper. And it's like right next to the hospital room. Maybe the Gigantic was that like first cruise ship that like got hit. It was like a big story toward the start of lockdown. It's toilet paper with some kind of red symbols on it. You think maybe it's Skytail Cipher? Scytail Cipher? What is that? Wrap a piece of paper around a stick and then write several sentences on it so the whole paper's filled up. Then you unwrap the paper and you can't tell what the original message was, right? That's how it works, more or less. Then to decipher it, you gotta have a stick that's the same diameter as the original one. Same diameter as the original one, huh? Yeah, then you just wrap the paper around that stick and you can read the code. I got a stick. What if I wrap the toilet paper around the broom? There's a broom wrapped in toilet paper. Search it? Oh, so you wrap the toilet paper around the broom, huh? Looks like the symbols line up perfectly. It says 634 plus. Just gonna write that down in my copybook so I don't have to remember it. It's not more of these, huh? I think you just get the one. Oh, man. What's great about this room in particular, many toilets, no ability to wash your hands. It's just how I like to play my video games. The dividing wall that separates the toilets. That's all I get, huh? There's something weird in this toilet. What do you think this is? It looks like tar. Kinda sticky. I don't think we could just wipe it off. Doubt just pouring some water on it's gonna help much either. What about hot water? Hot water? We had some really hot water, like boiling hot. Maybe that would wash it off. How about some luminol? Something that looks like tar in the toilet bowl. Luminol won't do it, idiot. Okay. Can I flush this toilet many times? It's a water tank for a toilet. I've seen a lot of OC guys try and hide something in a place like this, usually for a 187 or something. Guess they think it's clever. Don't know when they'll figure out everybody else thinks it's clever too. OC? What does that mean in this context? Castlear wonders if this room is a level in the crime scene cleaner scene. I could imagine that being the case. I haven't played it, but like, you could definitely do it as an homage. You'd sort of have to explain the situation. Huh? I mean, I know peace, but what's OC? Organized crime. What's that? Some kind of police slang? Huh? Probably. Huh? What'd I say? Why does he look all sad now? That's not really important right now, guys. Let's check it out, right? He's not wasting any time. We've already wasted a ton of time. In this game, you're constantly talking about how much time you're wasting. It's really interesting. Because you're constantly wasting time, but then complaining about the time you're wasting? It's not great. Michael proposes the person who killed Snake had to be Ace. If he stole the number 9 bracelet from the exploded man, he could have used his 9 and Snake to open the door and shove Snake through. And that's an interesting theory. What got you thinking about that, Neko? Is it just because you want to knife Ace? Oh, I didn't actually look at that, huh? Item! Search! It's a screwdriver! We can unscrew things with this! Is there something we needed to unscrew somewhere? I haven't found it yet, but almost definitely. Might be something in the tank, you know. Let's open it up. I got a red key card. It's a red card. Probably a key card. Remember if you saw a card reader anywhere around here? Nothing in the toilet. If there was, that would be gross. Sliding wall. The tanks are the ones I could look at. I already checked all 3 toilets, you know? Nothing unusual here. Huh? Looks like there's something down there on that grate. I think it's a car. Yeah, it's the blue car. Can't reach it, though. It's too deep. Ah, here's that card reader that was alluded to earlier. The red light's on, Jumpy. but there's another light and a number, and I don't have those. Hello? Fuel? Ah. There's a piece of paper tied to this pipe with a wire. Oh no. I touched something and the sound went away. It's the best. It's my favorite thing, that this is such a vulnerable system. Let's go over to this one. Save. So good. Not really frustrated with my life today or anything. Definitely not, like, super annoyed. Okay, and then we relaunch the game. And, like, definitely not get frustrated. Just kidding, it's, like, super late for that. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, we got sound back. We got game back. Neko says, I just like maths. 3 is such a low number, and Snake is 2, so I initially thought it had to be Ace open the door, but you need at least 3 people to open the door. Or just those 2 if the number 9 bracelet was taken. Added to that, Ace acquired syringes of knockout drugs. He could have relied on Snake's blindness, though. I mean, this is a game that rewards an interest in math, that much is for sure. So let's continue. Shower room. I sure can't tell you how much I hate this thing that keeps happening. It sucks a lot. I hate it super much. There's a piece of paper tied to this pipe with a wire. Notice! Drainage valve operation. Please do not flush the water in these pipes. Doing so may cause the drain to overflow. But what if I wanted that? The pipe on the right here must be connected to the drain in the middle of the room. If you turn on the water here, it'll probably come up through the drain. I don't think I have enough information to deal with that yet. It's water coming out of the shower head. Let's see if... Ah, it's hot! Really hot! Man, the water must be just about boiling. Luckily, someone said I needed that, so I have it. Maybe I can use the shower here to fill the bucket with hot water. Hot bucket. Hey, 7, can you turn on the shower? I'm gonna put the bucket under the head. Okay, sure thing. It's implied that that's happening now. Now I got a bucket of very hot water. It's filled with water. Try not to spill it, okay? It's heavy. Wait, why are we making June carry it? Okay, I'll carry it. Whew. Just like real quick. If I flush hot water from the bucket, that should clean it up. That's why I clicked it. Oh, you want me to put it in the tank? Is that how you do? Alright, I pour the hot water in the tank. Looks like you filled it. Now you should be able to flush it, right? There's probably a handle somewhere on the tank you could pull. You think so? Serious? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't actually see the lever, but if I click on the tank, it pretends that there is one. So many toilet puzzles in this game. Yeah, because they got their priorities straight. Would you prefer fewer toilet puzzles, Neko? There it goes, just like a toilet should work, you know, hashtag toilet life. 185 equals. Let's just go ahead and write that down. That stuff's washed off. Looks like that writing was numbers, see? 185 equals? What is this? You got me, it just looks like numbers. I like that now the toilet's like ruined forever. Not that this is my biggest concern, but like, we didn't flush it very far, you know? The dirt we flushed out settled in the bottom of the bowl. We perfectly ruined this toilet forever. So I think it, like, destroys the bucket. Yeah. So this is, like, one of those weird adventure game style things. You're, like, So, like, here's a drain. I would like to fill the drain with water. I have a bucket and a source of water. Like, if I had patience and time, I might be able to fill this thing up far enough for me to reach down and get that blue card I want. But the game says that's not correct and that the bucket is only for toilet cleaning. Which is, like, fine, I guess, but it's just like a level of convolutedness. A message written in blood. I have again. I have red card. I have luminol. I haven't used luminol or screwdriver yet. Wait, you don't really think we're supposed to use the luminol here, do you? It does seem kind of weird to use it here, but maybe I should try it just in case. Okay, I sprayed luminol on the wall. What's next? Click. Ah. Now this is a little bit cheaty because I remember the correlation here. But you might have figured it out by this point yourself. We found the drainage thing, and it had more than 3 levers that needed an orientation. We only had left, left, right. Now we have left, left, right, left, right, left. Which is like probably a song from Zelda Ocarina of Time. But I'm still gonna write this down, just so I don't have to remember it. Hooray. Just like you thought, Junpei, there's some more letters showing up after the LLR. See? It says LLR, LRL. Just real quick, go over here. And now I have enough. I would like left, left, right, left, right. Well, I did what it said on the wall. I wonder if it actually did anything. Hey, this drain's acting up. What did you do? I messed with the valves a little. Nothing big. Ah, good. It's wet. Hope you weren't concerned about getting wet. There must be water flowing through the pipe on the right. Water's pouring out of the drain. I got a card. Woo. Actually, I should check card. It's the blue key card. This is the symbol for Mercury, isn't it? The symbol for a woman with horns on it. The lotus symbol? There's an elevator right outside of the big hospital room. I think that same symbol was on the card reader next to it. That's right. I guess that means we're not supposed to use this card in this room. Do you really think so? You don't think maybe we need it for this room and for the elevator, since it's a viable inventory item? I don't remember what the screwdriver's for, to be honest with you. Great job, Jumpy. Both of the lights are on now. Now you just need to put in the password. I also don't remember if I need 3 numbers for this equation. I feel like I do, but let's try putting in what we have now. So we have 634 plus 185. B 9 1 891, I think. So these E and C keys. E means enter and C means clear. After you put in the password, hit E. Screw it up and hit C. So I'm pretty sure this is wrong because I think I want a 4-digit number. Enter. Yeah, so I must need the screwdriver to help me find the last thing. What in this room do I need the screwdriver for? Is it this thing? It's a thermometer. Can you get it off? No, it's screwed onto the wall. for you, pal.
Hey, Junpei, you know why thermometers only go up to 107 degrees Fahrenheit?
Because that's as high as any human being can count.
No, I can't say I ever thought about that.
At 107 degrees, the cells in the human body start to die, and the organs begin to shut down. The proteins in your cells start to harden.
I bet Santa gets invited to, like, a lot of
It's
parties.
like when you hard-boil an egg. Even if you cool it down afterwards, it won't go back to being a raw egg.
Again, I feel like that's quitter talk. I feel like with enough patience and time and a bucket filled with hot water, you could somehow get raw egg out of that. I mean, I might be biased. It's just kind of hard for me to accept that an egg can ever be used to make raw egg sauce ever again.
In other words, it's dead. That's why thermometers don't go past 107.
Oh yeah?
But it's pretty
Picture
rare
it.
for a fever to get that high.
Picture an egg. Very well played.
Even viruses and stuff don't usually drive the body temperature up to 107. Of course, there are other external things that could.
Like what?
Well, let's see. Something like getting locked in a sauna, or getting thrown into an incinerator and burnt to death.
Vasco's cooked eggs are raw. He just doesn't try hard enough. Are you saying that... I'm not sure I understand your implication, Neko. I take great pride in my raw egg sauce, a staple of my raw chicken and egg sauce meal, which is the pinnacle of human culinary accomplishment. I assure you, those eggs are raw.
Yeah, I guess that would get a little hotter than 107 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, I got it.
A flamethrower might also get you that hot, maybe.
Huh?
I haven't checked,
What's up?
though, to be honest.
Nothing. Forget about it.
What was that all about?
He probably remembered that he didn't have any jam. Search it! Oh, you took the thermometer off! It says open at the bottom of the gauge. I wonder what it means. Maybe when it gets that hot, something will open. Whee. Look at it spin. Okay, great. Woo. Think if I just run it under the shower head, that'll get me there? Maybe? Alright, I have to turn for that, even though it looks like I could click it. Oh no, the raw chicken and egg sauce is my specialty. Other people say, Vasco, you shouldn't eat raw food, and this will literally make everyone sick and die. And Vasco, please stop, this is an intervention, but I won't hear it. Yeah, if I can get the hot water on this thermometer, then maybe I can ruin this like I ruined the toilet. The gingerbread cookies are also a Vasco original. Look, no one's showing me any respect for my culinary prospects. And I just don't understand why. Alright, thermometer, let's get this party started. Yep, that's pretty hot. There goes the gauge, and now it's at the open mark. It opened. What's this? It looks like there's a piece of paper in there. There we go. Plus 957. Oh, where'd my mouse go? Other monitor. Great. 957 plus. That means you're supposed to add something to the 957, doesn't it? Well, yeah, it doesn't take a genius to figure that out. The problem is what to add. Alright, which one of these buttons is my calculator? I'm not doing math on a Friday. I can't even keep my emotions in check. I'm having a bad time. Calculator is left. I thought I hit left. Ahem. So, 634 plus 957 plus 185 equals 1776. We may have just found ourselves a way out. Open! We eventually got there.
There's a large iron door at the end.
Let's take a look. Huh? What are you doing, Seven?
The recipe is too special to eat. That's a great way of framing it.
Well, I figure maybe we might want to come back here sometime.
It's like a really nicely decorated cake, my raw chicken and egg sauce. It's like a work of art more than it is food, despite the fact that it's made of food.
So, I stuck the broom in there to keep the door from shutting. Alright, let's go.
See, Seven always props the door behind him.
Jumpy, look!
What's up?
He's very industrious.
What's that on the wall there?
Oh, I think it's... a map of the ship's interior?
It says C deck.
So it's the map for this floor, then. We'll have time to study it later. Let's keep going for now.
Man, all this map talk,
Ready?
I don't need a map.
I'm gonna open it.
Everyone mentally prepare yourselves for a door opening. It important.
What the?
You're shitting me. We're back.
We did it! It's the same room again! Aw, man.
Clover! Lotus! And Ace! I'm glad you're all okay.
You know, I don't remember every single line of dialogue in this game for sure. There's many of them. It's basically a book with pictures. I suspect that not everyone that she's excited to see will be excited to see her.
Lotus? What are you...
We said we'd be back for you, and we are, right, Castle Ark? That's, again, we're just framing things very positively.
How could you do this to us?
I hope that was to me and not to June.
Knock it off! We got bigger shit to worry about right now.
What?
For a second, I thought he was going to say, like, bigger stuff to fry instead of to worry about.
Go have a look. I stuck the screwdriver in the door. That door over there, the one without a number. So long as the screwdriver's there, it can't shut, so you can get in there. There's a shower room past there. I stuck a broom at the door there, too. Anyway, go take a look.
You might... Hey, buddy, I know that this game was made a while ago, but, like, a trigger warning might be appreciated. Particularly if you're gonna send Clover in there. Like, maybe give Clover a heads up that what she's going to see is, like, literally the worst thing that she can imagine. Like, just some amount of mental preparation for that would be appreciated.
Then you're saying we can go in there without passing through the numbered door?
Yeah, it's about the size of it.
Wait, what the hell is in there?
You'll know when you see it.
This is... okay. I'm all for avoiding spoilers, but I feel like this might not be the best way to go about breaking the news to Clover that her brother exploded in a jam accident.
Fine, let's go.
My goodness. I know I said I was sure you'd come back for me. I didn't think it would happen so soon, though.
You also wear these galoshes. Why? You'll know when you see it.
Should I go as well?
Yeah.
Steel is getting worse all the time. Freya, do not alter it further.
Very well.
I don't know what this camera angle or pan is meant to represent.
Snake was probably murdered. Chances are he was killed the same way the Ninth Man was. It's pretty straightforward. Not that hard to figure out how they did it. First, the killers got Snake to authenticate on the red to open door 3. Then they shoved him into it, alone, and waited 9 seconds for the door to shut. Once that door shut, it was all over for Snake. But he didn't give up. He probably knew it wouldn't do him any good, but he probably ran into the shower room looking for the dead. It was a small chance, but it wasn't like he had anything to lose. Unfortunately, it didn't work. The detonator is only deactivated if everybody who authenticated when they went in uses the dead. Snake was the only one who went through the door. And then, 81 seconds after he was shoved in,
He had some
that
sort of accident.
happened.
I see. So that's what you meant by killers, huh?
I thought he meant the band. I thought he figured there were like 9 people, but also the band known as the Killers.
You need at least 3 people to open one of the numbered doors, including Snake.
It would be a different kind of game. It would also definitely have a different soundtrack for
It
sure.
wouldn't open for Snake and a single killer.
Yeah, that means we're looking at multiple perps here.
Well, just in case, I want to make sure. Let's say you're right. When do you think Snake was killed?
When we all split up to look for the parts for the Reds, I think.
I mean, that's essentially the only time it could have happened, right? I mean, you're talking about a relatively large window there, but, like, there's no point previous to that that, like, Snake wasn't with someone. That was when we all split up. It's the only time that someone would have had the ability to do it.
Right after that was when we noticed he was gone.
Then that means none of us have alibis. We were all off searching the rooms we'd been assigned, looking for those parts.
Yeah, that means anybody could be a killer.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about? How can you say that so casually? You're implying that one of us is a killer.
Well, not just one of us. If I'm right, then at least 2 of us are murderers.
Why don't you
Why
calm
can you say
down a
that
bit,
so
son?
casually?
What are you going to gain by being so suspicious? That's what Zero wants, you know?
What Zero wants?
Exactly. This game was set up by Zero, wasn't it? Any game has a winner and loser. Whoever makes it through door 9 is a winner, and those who don't are the losers.
Well, I mean, like a cooperative multiplayer game doesn't necessarily work that way.
Zero is trying to make us fight against one another for that victory.
Not all games are zero-sum, but it is pretty easy to imagine that a game set up by someone who calls himself Zero might be a zero-sum game.
Then you're saying that Zero is trying to split us up by making us fight each other?
Yes. That is why we can't let ourselves fall prey to suspicion. We have to trust one another and form a strong bond of friendship. Otherwise, we'll end up ensnared by Zero's manipulations.
Hey, have you heard of Ice 9? We're just like saying random stuff now, right?
Then does that mean that the person who killed Snake...
Yes. Almost certainly Zero himself. If there's anyone we should doubt, it should be Zero. He masterminded this game and kidnapped all of us. Doesn't it seem reasonable that he would have killed Snake as well?
Good question. If Zero killed Snake, then Zero is on the ship with us.
Was Zero still on the ship with them? Junpei wasn't sure.
Something's still strange.
What was that?
Well, I'm just wondering about one thing.
And what's that?
How can you be so sure that Zero's on this ship?
Really, Junpei? I confess I'm a little disappointed. Usually you're rather sharp. Isn't it obvious?
Wait, it is?
This ship.
Huh?
Zero said, "this ship," several times when he addressed us.
I mean, it could just mean that Zero is able to empathize just enough to put himself in the shoes of the players while delivering the message, so that they know he's talking about the ship they're on. There's definitely, there's like a weird vibe, right, Arcadius? Arcadius says, I'm curious about something too. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop? There's just like this weird way that like information is exchanged through the like Socratic method of asking and answering questions in the Zero Escape games. That feels like at any point, like, you could have the rug pulled out from under you by someone, like, asking just, like, a completely insane question that's not related to anything. And, like, it happens because sometimes you start talking about, like, sexy mummies and stuff. You just never know.
If he weren't here, he wouldn't say this ship, would he?
This honestly strikes me as, like, a really uncompelling
He'd
argument.
be saying something like, that ship, or the ship.
Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
I mean, it's plausible, but, like, you could definitely just record that message and say this ship because, like, you understand the situation they're in.
If Zero's on the ship, where is he?
You could also just do it to be misleading, you know.
I think.
That's an interesting statement as well. Okay, it says that logic makes no sense in English. Yeah, it's not a great argument. It might make sense in Japanese. There could be like a grammatical thing that's like, oh, in Japanese you just like definitely wouldn't say this. But it doesn't seem to translate all that well into English, I agree.
I think Zero is.
There's somehow you get someone else to... You prompt someone to be like, well, like, Zero could be among us because, like, they rigged up the whole game to work, like, automatically using the bracelets and the bombs and the reds and the deads. Like, Zero doesn't have to be overseeing anything with some sort of remote control, so they could be among us. And that alone feels like a better argument than, like, he said this boat! Gotcha!
One of us.
Also, it could be two of us, just to be clear. Because there's, like, 2 killers or whatever. Was he one of them? I'm just doing the opposite options to what I chose last time, so we get some different dialogue. That's crazy!
That's crazy. Isn't this ship going to sink in a few hours? If Zero was here with us, he'd be putting himself in danger. Why the hell would he do something like that? There's no motive.
Among Us before it was popular. Yeah, this game was definitely ahead of its time.
You don't believe me.
Clover,
Clover, I understand what you're feeling. You don't feel that you can trust any of us.
Also, Junpei kinda sucks. He snuck into the number 3 door and everyone hates him.
But you have to understand. The more we distrust one another, the further we fall into our true foe's trap. Zero was the one who did those horrible things to your brother. Do you want to let yourself be manipulated by someone who would do such a horrible thing?
It's 3 in the morning.
This time they were able to reuse the same, like, 3 bell chime clip from earlier, because it's 3, but before they had to truncate it, because the only clip they had was 3 bells.
That means we have 3 hours left.
Then we need to move now. 7. Clover, I know how you feel, but you do understand that right now it's important we trust one another, don't you? We must go. We have very little time left.
our next destination is Mercury.
That's a really weird way of putting that. Obviously, he means we will use the Mercury key on the elevators, but, like, I don't think our next destination is Mercury, is all I'm saying.
Here we go.
Get right quick to the rocket ship. It's like, wait, if we had this the whole time, why were we doing escape rooms? Just rocket off the boat!
Oh, that's the...
Yeah, I found it in the shower room.
Oh, I see. It's got the Mercury symbol.
No, it's the Lotus symbol. We talked
Now
about
we
this.
can go.
Looks like there's only 2 floor buttons working.
C and bottom.
Time to head down then.
Oh, we didn't have, like, a really long flirtatious conversation with Santa about what it means to go down and get wet on the elevator.
This is a numbered door.
Ah, sick, the number 2 door. I've been holding it for a really long
Yeah,
time.
it's door 2.
So who should go through the door this time?
Which is weird because we were just in a room filled with toilets.
We don't need to be discussing who we're leaving behind this time, right?
Right. It's set up so we'll be able to meet up again once we get through the numbered doors.
It does bother me a little bit that it takes them 2 sets of doors to reach the conclusion that this is, like, not even, like, probable, but, like, possible. Because they go through the 4 and the 5 door, and then, like, everyone's like, we have to sacrifice someone so that we can go through the doors. Even though they met up after going through the 4 and the 5 doors. And, like, some members of the group having the realization that, like, if you split up in a door that wasn't number 9, you'd have no way of getting through the number 9 door again at the end, which the rules specifically state is the goal.
Then there's no need for arguments at this point.
We should figure out who's going in first.
Very well. Would anyone like to volunteer?
I'll do it.
I'll go too.
And I suppose I need to go too, then.
All right, we're taking off.
Okay, please be careful.
I think this is one of those artifacts of just, like, having different branches to the story and whatever. And this game's actually pretty good, for the most part, about addressing these things. It does feel weird on this very specific iteration that, like, Lotus is willing to go into the number 2 room with Junpei after he pulled the trick to get inside the number 3 door. which she was like super mad about, and she's like, yeah, I'll just go with him into this room.
Jesus. You two are acting like you're married, you know that?
Oh,
Don't be silly. Cut it out.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Where the hell is it this time?
There's so little ceremony to going through the door here. Let me check something on the flowchart real quick. Interesting. So, let's talk real quick about the number 2 door. When previously we reached the end of the game and started polling to figure out where we would go, we're just gonna listen to the beeping. Someone's gonna hate this. I said that there was exactly one door that I would veto vote selection to go through, given where we were. That door is the number 2 door. Because no matter what you do, if you go through the number 2 door, you get the submarine ending. I don't know why the game is arranged this way, but it is like a very precise artifact of how the game is set up. So the fact that we brute forced our way through the number 3 door means that the only room that we now have access to is number 2. There's no further choice. And all we can do is go through the same escape segments that we did and get the submarine ending. Which means that we now find ourselves in a position where we must change something. And I'm going to go to here so that we can stop listening to the beeping.
Well, we really don't have a choice now.
And now let's open the flowchart up for discussion. So, we've now done the 4 and the 5 doors. We've done 3 and 8. There's an additional choice that we've seen after 8 that you don't have going after 3. So this leaves us with a few options. We could finally do the number 7 door. Or we could skip ahead.
I don't need a map to get to Bonetown.
You don't need a map to get to Bonetown, but you're gonna need a flowchart to figure out what is happening. So I'm assuming that no one is, like, particularly interested in...
Oh, darn.
Revisiting doors 4 and 5. So that leaves us... that leaves us with a choice of 7, 1, or 6, I believe are the doors available to us. So, create a new poll. Man, there's some things that Twitch just hates to do if it is not full screen. It's rude. So, door 7. Door 1. I'm going to give 2 minutes on the clock for this poll. Note that there are 4 options on the poll. Where are these doors on the flowchart? Trying to decide how directly I should answer that. Let me put it this way. The choice up here is the first door. It represents a choice of door 4 or door 5. The door here represents the choice between door 3, door 8, and door 7. And then this point represents a choice between 2 again, 1 and 6. Well, these might be reversed. I don't honestly know because I've never really seen the flowchart before. And, alright, I'll leave it at this. So I'll start the poll now with that in mind. And I've specified at what point in the story each of these doors is available from. Basically, door 7 takes us back to the hospital room. And doors 1 and 6 branch from door 8, which we already did before. I see Neko stated that she voted for 7. I see that you like a top-down approach. It does sort of clear the most efficient amount of the flowchart in a certain respect. At the very least, it sort of causes a specific shift of focus. Alright, it looks like this time it's unanimous. We're interested in 7. It did, after all, get second place in our previous poll, despite my inability to put the correct numbers in the poll. So, let's go ahead and do that then. So, let's return to... No, that's already where I am, isn't it?
We can't let his sacrifice go to waste, right?
Like you even mean that.
Arcadius. I choose not to acknowledge that as an omission of trolling, whether or not it's true, because I don't mean to hold it against you. I just don't want the poll to always be tied. Because if I wanted to choose for myself, I would just do it. I would just, like, go through the game and try to choose a path that I thought was, like, most interesting. But that's not what I want. I want you to choose a path.
You say something?
No, nothing.
No, nothing about the sign for women with horns.
Yeah, but we're not done choosing yet, are we?
Huh?
Well, we haven't decided who's going in what door.
Ah, yes.
You first.
Let's just skip.
It's the same-
Got it.
We've
You're next.
very recently seen
I'll
this
take-
particular conversation.
Who, me?
So they're like, I want the number on my bracelet.
Alright,
And then it's
who's
like,
next,
okay.
Junpei? Which door?
Junpei, what do you want? I guess I'll go. I didn't pick this one. I'll go with 7.
I think I'm gonna go with door 7.
Thought real hard about it. Drew Carey, Bob Barker, Wayne Brady, all the daytime game show hosts. I thought real hard about it. I'm going with door number 7.
Okay, 7 it is.
Yeah.
All right then. That means June's got to go through 8.
What? Why?
What?
If the 6 of us are gonna keep
Out
going
of spite,
without
I
leaving
presume.
anyone behind, there are only 3 ways we can do it. Have 3, 5, and 8 go through 7. 4, 5, and 7 go through 7. Or 3, 6, and 7 go through 7. And 4, 5, and 8 get 8. There are no other combinations.
I just have a hard time imagining what it's like to be a person. Like, even if it was the case that, like, he thought about all the permutations of digital root combinations that can go through the doors in the hospital room, since he didn't know that Ace was going to sacrifice himself, it would have meant that, like, while they spent that hour going through their individual rooms trying to find the parts for the Reds, that he would have had to think of, like, every possible permutation of all... I mean, he didn't even know that Snake was missing at that point. So, like, all 8 players remaining in the game and what that would mean going through all these doors. And then he'd have to adjust for it when he found out about both of those other things. Like, it's insane that he would have all of this just, like, off the cuff.
In other words, 3 and 4 and 7 and 8 can never go through the same doors. You get it now?
Oh no. You're saying we aren't gonna see each other again for a long time.
Hey, come on. You're making it sound like we're never gonna see each other again. We gotta split up, but only for a while.
I'm never gonna give you up. I'm never gonna let you down. I'm never gonna go through a numbered door and desert you.
This is just like when we went into the 4 and 5 doors, remember? We got split up then too, but we all met back up. I'll bet 7 and 8 are just like that.
See, like, Junpei, like, literally says this here, and then, like, no matter what happens, you go through the doors and you end up back in the hospital room and you're like, NANI?
You mean they're connected somewhere?
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna connect somewhere.
Why? What makes you think so?
If they don't, then neither team can get through door 9. In other words, the game would end right here.
Now, granted, on that path we just took, we didn't allow for this part of the conversation to happen because we just kept, like, tripling down on choosing door number 3 until we scammed our way inside. So we didn't really talk it through, but if you go through door 7 or door 8, then you get some similar variation of this conversation, and yet people are still surprised.
Zero's been on top of his shit so far. I don't think he'd blow it now. I'm damn sure that son of a bitch wants to have his fun as long as possible. He's not gonna end this game until we get through the 9 door.
Everything's gonna be fine. We're gonna see each other again. I promise.
Yes. Promise?
You guys are done, right? Anyway, that's pretty much it.
What a good friend Santa is to
Clover
everyone.
and I will both go into separate groups. I figure I'll take 8 and Clover can take 7. Any problems with that, Clover?
Whatever.
All right, we're ready to go then.
What a good friend Clover is to everyone.
Let's move.
Hey, Che, I'm curious.
You guys ready?
It's kind of hard to evaluate the way a game like this works, especially now with the addition of the flowchart. Maybe something approximating halfway through the game now. Maybe. What do you think of the characters? Do you have a favorite and or least favorite?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Beep beep beep.
It's open.
Let's do this!
Hurry!
June.
This maybe isn't the time for this.
Jumpy.
What the hell are you doing, Junpei?
Your favorite is Zero because they just want to teach math.
Only 81 seconds left!
It's a reasonable goal. Also, if you even have a chance to say that sentence, it's not true.
No time to waste, guys! Let's get moving!
Look! The door on the left! I can see the dad!
That's an interesting observation as well. Neko, noted hater of most Uchikoshi characters from other games that we've already played on the channel, which I don't mean that to sound critical, because it's frankly pretty fair. There's a lot of unlikable characters amongst most of those games. Says her favorite is Snake. Don't hate anyone, which is surprising considering how awful the other characters have been.
It stopped. This is the second time we've gone through one of these numbered doors, but whew, you never really get used to it.
I would have thought a guy your size would have bigger balls than that.
Thanks, Clover. Thank you. Thanks.
What? What the hell did you just say? Say it again! I dare you!
You have no...
Uh-oh. Clean up on door number 7. There's about to be a murder.
You wanna die?
I'd like to see you try.
You fucking brat. Alright, let's go!
Hey, calm down, guys. This isn't the time for this.
There's some twisted part of me that would be interested in seeing this fight only because I'm curious what Clover thinks is going to happen. Like, what does Clover think would happen if this actually ensues?
It's not gonna do us any good. Wait here for a minute, alright? I'm gonna go see if there are any other doors.
Like, 7 has his own residential mailing address due to his size. Clover is just a wee little girl. A small lass.
We just came through this door. And of course it's shut tight. There's a short hallway on the left here, and an iron wall. I doubt I can get through it.
Are you sure it's a wall and not a curtain?
This door's the only option we've got, right?
Yeah, looks like it.
Hey, something's written on the door. On that iron plate.
It says operating room. If this thing's telling the truth, there could be body parts inside here.
Well, this is probably not going to be pleasant.
That's an interesting theory. The motion says, in my opinion, Zero's childhood friend is too coincidental otherwise. Or maybe Junpei. Do you have any theories as to how you think Junpei would be do you think it's just like a super unreliable narrator thing and he's just lying to everyone?
Well, there's no point to standing around. Might as well go in and see what's waiting for us. What's wrong?
No, it's nothing. Let's just go. Huh?
What the hell is this?
Why don't we take a look?
Hey, Clover.
What?
Dramatic music plays.
Clover! Hey, what's wrong?
Did 7 kill you?
What the hell is this?
Is this a corpse?
No, it's really not. Hey everyone. Take a look at the screen. Is this a corpse? Is this a butterfly? Is it maybe a pigeon? I don't know what I'm looking at. That's a human though, right?
We should probably take a closer look.
Yeah.
This is...
Yep, that's what a person looks like.
What the hell?
It's 0.
That's just a huge
Demolition
doll
caught
or
on so
something.
early. I didn't think he was gonna crack the code so quick, but here we are.
Doll? You're right. It's only a doll. Man, it really scared me.
Well, I guess it would be weird if you actually had any of this.
Shut it! Don't you start with me, fatty.
Oh, what's this? You want a piece of me, short stuff?
Yeah, bring it on, you whale!
Hey, guys, not again, okay? Seriously, knock it off. Jeez. Anyway, it looks like he's got something the two of you could stand to have a little more of.
It's rare for, like, Junpei to not be involved in, like, the interpersonal animosity. I don't feel like he's a troublemaker unless you're forcing him to, like, cheat at something in the game with your decisions. But, like, I don't know. I feel like usually when someone's mad, he's involved somehow.
Talking about a heart.
Huh? Oh, this? You mean on his chest?
Yeah.
Why would there be a heart in a doll?
Because you're trying to make it into a real boy,
I don't
obviously.
think it's a doll.
You think maybe it's like a medical mannequin or something?
Or maybe it's got more personal uses?
Why would it need a heart for that?
Anyway, how about we take a look around this place? Let's go.
Okay.
Sure thing.
Seek a way out. Nothing creepy about this place. These dolls are really kind of creepy, you know? Hey, it says something here. John. You think that's this doll's name? Maybe. This thing is creepy. I wonder why it's on the bed. What would you prefer for it to be doing? What? I'm gonna regret asking this. What pose do you want the life-size doll to be in, 7? The creepy medical mannequin is lying on the bed. Apparently his name is John. Hey, I wonder what this thing is. It says KG on the display. You think maybe it's a scale? Neat. Look at all these low saturation nightmare tools, and then this nightmare razor that's like a higher saturation of color. Oh, it's good. It's lightly used, this scalpel. Scalpel that's not rusty. Seems like it was put here for a reason, huh? You think it's telling us to cut something? Yeah, I do. Well, if you want to be a surgeon, you're gonna have to want to cut. None of this other stuff looks useful. Yeah, it's all pretty rusty. If it's related to Mario, the mannequin in Boss's office. I don't know, he's a pretty good friend. Do you think that John is a good friend? An internal organ, specifically a lung. Medical mannequin with its guts showing. Ew, gross. Hey, Junpei, there's a slit in this thing's chest. Yeah, sure is. There's something in there. Maybe we can get it out. Stinking thing won't budge. It's stuck. Well, I guess you can't use force on this one, then. We need something small that can fit into that little hole. Is it a scalpel? It's not a scalpel. Or it would let me do it. Or the game's broken, but I don't think it's that one. They use these for surgery, right? Let's see. Syringes, cups, a plate. There's a sort of scissorish thingy. There's a bunch of tools on the table. One of them looks like scissors. Can I not pick up? Oh, it has just a really specific hitbox. Cool. Are those scissors? They look kind of funny. No, that's probably a pair of kosher forceps. Surgeons use them during operations. They can hold blood vessels shut and keep tissue out of the way. We can use it to pull stuff out of small holes or something like that. Some sort of secret hole. Yeah, got me a fake organ. Traded me some fake scissors for a fake organ. So we took the organ thingy out of the chest thingy. It's a lung, not an organ thingy. Huh? This part here on the back, it's all rubbery. You're right. So it's a fake organ. Of course it'd be... Wait, what's 7 grabbing for? Hey, it feels like there's something in here. You think we can cut through the rubber part? Well, I got a thing for that. Let's try cutting the organ with a scalpel. There's a key in this organ. Found a key in an internal organ. Usually those don't go there. Alright, cool. Hey, fake chest. Ew, that's gross! This is the chest. It's a woman's chest. The heart's gone, but it's pretty hot. I feel like that's not better, that's worse. I feel like that's not... I don't think I like it. If that kind of thing turns you on, Seven, you're a real creepo. I don't exactly disagree. Maybe you're supposed to heat something like that gauze to kill bacteria. There's a boiling thingy over here. There's nothing on the lid or in the drawers. There's a lot of different kinds of medication. It's hard to tell them apart. There's a whole bunch of bottles on the shelves. Looks like medicine to me. Do the drawers activate independently? Drawer is empty. Nothing here. These are all the same hitbox, yeah? Okay, just making sure. Shut up. White cloth. Oh! Is this better? Hey, is this better or worse? I found a woman's head and arm. There's some kind of device attached to the bed. It says KG on the panel. Is this a scale? Well, it's a woman. Here, have this chest. This bed doesn't look very comfortable. Can I not? I can't give this woman a chest. What's this thing? It's got these short iron legs. Maybe it's a heater. There's nothing inside it. It's easy to miss. You have to explore areas outside of that big operating room. I feel like it got stuck there at least one time. Even though the game does sort of show you the different angles of the room you should be looking for. Awesome, it's unlocked. Well, it clearly wasn't the thing for the key then. There's a note on top of the table. Iron equals 1. Salt equals 2. Water equals 3. Carbon dioxide, huh? Ammonia, huh? Ethanol, bleh. What do you think it's a hint for? Maybe it's got something to do with this box. Yeah, blue liquid. Looks like there's something inside that bottle. Why don't you try pouring some out into the cap? Can't see any reason why not. What's that? It's bright blue. Do you think it's alien blood? Where did that come from? What do you think it is, Seven? I don't know, some sort of special bath soap? What a boring guess. Got some red liquid too! Guess Ark says chug it. It would be funny if that was like the follow-up. It's like, well, there's no harm in pouring it into the cap. Oh, it's a weird, unnatural color. I don't see any harm in drinking the entire bottle in one shot. Looks like there's something inside that bottle. Pour it into the cap. It's exactly the same except it's bright red. Do you think it's blood? No, blood is thicker than water. Then what is it? Beats me. Anyway, I got some weird colors. Now it's time to make Easter eggs or whatever. Hey, Junpei, you think there are any slugs on this ship? Huh? Well, if there are, I was thinking we could put salt on them, because I'm basically a serial killer. What's she pointing at? The label states NaCl. Salt, huh? Do you think Seven will shrivel up if we put it on him? Hey, you say something. There's a bottle of salt on the shelf. NaCl. Na is sodium and Cl is chloride. So salt is made up of one sodium atom and one chloride atom. What's this? Looks like a can with a spray nozzle. It says CO2. So it's a can filled with carbon dioxide? Something stinks. Is it coming from this bottle? It says NH3. Alright, clearly we're doing this math. I don't remember how many things we need to put together, but that might be all of them. Well, of course that stinks. It's ammonia. Other hitboxes in this room that I need to care about. Hey, Junpei, there's dihydrogen monoxide on this shelf. Why don't you just say water? Okay, I'll put that on the list so I can just look at it all at the same time. So I got water up here. This was carbon dioxide. No hitbox on the right. Ammonia. Oh, good stuff. Let's go for a drink. What are you talking about? Talking about that bottle. It says C2H5OH. Yeah. I definitely haven't memorized every chemical formula in existence. It's been a while since, like, middle school or whenever I last dealt with that stuff. Acadia says, if it wasn't for the fact that the director of this game usually makes small girls freakishly strong, I'd say Seven should just give her a good punch. I mean, we haven't established any supernatural strength from Clover. Like, real talk. Since there's no, like, weird genetic experimentation already established in this game, what do you think the odds are that Clover could take Seven? That's ethanol. That's right, it's also known as ethyl alcohol. It's pretty much what booze are made of. So, you're gonna drink it? Nah, I won't. Might say that's what's on the label, but there could be anything in there. Even a boat. So that's the ethanol. That's the salt. I think that's everything from the room. You know, I don't actually remember exactly what the implementation on this one is, to be honest. What are the question marks I'm filling in to get a 3-digit number? Oh, I get it. It's just like the individual number of atoms. Because iron is just its own type of atom. Salt is a compound or whatever that has 2. And then water is H2O, so it has 3. So, carbon dioxide, CO2, that'd be 3. Ammonia, that was NH3, so that's 4. So 3, 4. And then ethanol, C2H5OH. So that's 1, 2, 7, 8, 9. So 3, 4, 9 maybe? If it's just like top to bottom order. Only entered 3 numbers. It really feels like it needs to explain enter and clear every single time. Let's give it a shot. 3, 4, 9. Enter. I did it! Solved the puzzle I completely forgot about pretty quickly. Hooray for me. She has anime protagonist hair. He wouldn't stand a chance. I mean, I'll say this, Neko, and others who support this theory. 7 does kind of have the look of, like, the type of thug character that the protagonist beats up, like, at the start of a story arc, right? In, like, an anime. I got an arm. It's the right arm of the body. It's kind of creepy. Hey, don't take a drink every time Clover says creepy in this escape room, because you'll die. A heart. This thing is super creepy. This ain't good for the heart. What, having it in our inventory? You know what? I think I actually agree with that. Since I've hit like every hotspot in this room, I assume that's everything I need from here.
Think we should go back?
Yeah, I think that's probably best.
Was that necessary?
Hey, 7, what's up?
Oh, well,
Is that a medicine bottle?
I got curious about it. Here.
Ethylene diamine tartrate?
I think that's the chemical formula for barbecue sauce. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. CDT.
What kind of medicine is that?
It's not medicine. I think it's an industrial strength detergent.
Yeah, like I said, barbecue sauce.
Why would they have something like that here?
Well, probably to clean stuff up.
Listen, if your condiments don't double as household cleaner, then I just feel like you're living your life inefficiently.
Clean what up?
Fuck if I know. Still, it looks like it's cleaned my brain up.
You remember something?
Yeah. Well, I remember a story about EDT. Happened about 50 years ago. There was this factory somewhere in America making big old EDT crystals. They were making it to sell as an industrial strength cleaner, like I told you before. But a year after the factory started up, something strange started happening with the crystals they were building. Water molecules started attaching themselves to the EDT crystals. This made them into a sort of mutation of the original crystals, called a hydrate. Once the crystals turn into a hydrate, though, it's useless as a cleaner. The factory had to just dump the crystals. As a hydrate, they were useless.
I bet they still taste pretty good.
But it didn't end there.
Nico says, at least they are in a freezer for this one. Yeah, but there could be like ammonia fumes. You don't know. And I just announced the 20th anniversary Digivice from Digimon Frontier. That's $120. That's a tough call, Cadius. I know you like recently made some purchases along those lines, but like, it always gets you with those collector items, huh?
After that day, the same thing started happening in EDT factories everywhere, even ones nowhere near that first American factory.
Stupid American factories, ruining barbecue sauce for everyone or something. I've kind of lost the
They've been
thread.
making crystals the same way, with the same materials and the same equipment and environment. But now, all of a sudden, every single crystal they formed turned into a hydrate. In fact, ever since that day, no factory anywhere has been able to make a pure EDT crystal. Even in EDT research done years before, they'd never gotten a hydrate. But after it happened at the first factory, it just spread. It was like, man, how do you say it?
It seems like they gained some like forbidden alchemical knowledge by going through that gate from Full Metal Alchemist.
Like the molecules were communicating with one another, transmitting information in a way humans couldn't perceive.
Money.
This phenomenon spread throughout the world, right?
Yeah, that's it exactly. But how did you know?
I heard another story, kind of like that one.
When?
Conspicuously like that, except I was in a freezer. It's otherwise essentially the same situation entirely.
In the freezer?
What? The freezer?
Yeah, June told me.
Ice that doesn't melt at room temperature, huh?
That sounds familiar?
Yeah, hold up. I feel like I can remember something. It's right there.
Do you?
Anything, chat? Should we start up another pseudo-scientific conversation by bringing up Ice 9 and talking about some hot mummies? Or should we just let him go and see what he thinks of on his own accord? Because, like, maybe if we interrupt his train of thought, he won't get there. But maybe it'll help to talk about some philosophy. It's an Uchikoshi game. Yeah, I suppose we didn't play an Uchikoshi game to not go into a deep fringe science dive on something that's probably not even a little bit real.
Do you know about Ice 9?
Ice 9? Ice 9. Ice 9. Ice.
Baby.
That's it. I remember now. That woman, she's on this boat.
Pardon?
That woman?
Alice!
Who's Alice?
Come on, the woman who won't melt at room temperature.
Huh?
You know how the Titanic sank on April 15th, 1912, right?
Yeah, more than 1,500 people died. Worst maritime accident in history.
It almost seems like a ridiculous question to ask someone, but
What about it?
I'm starting to think everyone's brains are broken. Why do you say that, Neko? What makes you question the fact that these are functioning human beings? What of any of their behavior at any point would make you question that? I wonder out loud.
Did you hear about the boat that was sent to collect the dead bodies?
There's so many Titanic stories in this game.
I think that was the RMS Carpathia, right? It was a cruise liner, just like the Titanic.
No, that was the ship that picked up the survivors. The ship that collected the dead bodies was the CS McCabe Bennett. The McCabe Bennett showed up on April 17th, 2 days after the accident. It set out from Halifax, a port in Canada, and recovered 306 bodies.
It was actually supposed to be going on a fishing trip. Their manager was not pleased when they got back to port.
The Atlantic that far north was really cold. It would have to be for there to be icebergs and stuff. Anyway, the bodies they pulled out of the water were frozen solid.
This isn't a very nice story. So, what happened next?
Yeah, it turns out that this game is full of a lot of stories that the characters do not think are nice.
Well, they say the McCabe Bennett recovered something more than just dead bodies.
Castlearg says it was supposed to be a 3-hour tour. Man, can you imagine? That's like a super different show. I mean, I would make a joke that like that's what like a modern day Gilligan's Island would be, but like we literally have that. It's essentially what Lost was. Lost was supposed to be like, what if we did a dramatic Gilligan's Island situation?
There were various bits of stuff floating around in the water. Things the drowned had carried with them, or stuff that dislodged as the ship sank.
You know, stuff.
One of the things
Stuff
they
like
found
stuff?
was a coffin.
A coffin?
Yeah, a wooden one. The craftsman who made it must have been pretty skilled.
You know, I finally started watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure recently, and I can't help but think of how poorly it can go if you find a coffin floating in the ocean. Who was Gilligan in Lost? Probably Hurley. But, like, also, it wasn't meant as, like, a one-to-one translation of, like, let's remake Gilligan's Island. It was more like, it's like dramatic Gilligan's Island. Everyone ends up trapped on an island, and you have to see how they survive. But then, like, a bunch of ridiculous things happen. I encourage you to watch the Billiam videos on Lost. They're very, very interesting, and they're very comprehensive. It's much easier to get a sense of what Lost was like as a cultural thing by watching that type of analysis than by just, like, watching the show now. Like, it just won't make sense. At the very least, you won't get the same information.
It wasn't just a wooden coffin. It was all wood. No nails, no reinforcements, no gaps in the wood anywhere. The thing was airtight.
And was it locked from the inside?
The crew got pretty curious about what might be inside it and opened it up. I had to get a wedge and hammer it open. So...
I bet it was a puzzle box. And if they had just solved the puzzle correctly, then, like, it would have opened up. It's basically an escape room, right?
Or, I guess you should say, they found the dead body of a woman. Her hair was thick and black, and her skin rich brown with no blemishes or signs of decomposition. They say that she looked gorgeous, like a goddess. She was obviously dead, but everyone who looked at her said she just looked like she was sleeping.
That's interesting. A dead woman that everyone talks about being super attractive. Have we heard about that somewhere before? It's kind of a weirdly specific thing, to be
Her
honest.
skin was so lifelike, she looked like she might wake up any minute.
Oh yeah, Billiam's Digimon videos also excellent. Most of his videos are very, very good. I mean, they're all well done. There's a limited number of them I guess I don't care about. It's probably a better distinction to make. But, like, even ones I wouldn't expect to care about are very interesting. He's very good at what he does.
And she didn't. Like the rest of the bodies they found, she was frozen solid. Eventually, the McKay Bennett finished searching and returned to Halifax. The 306 bodies were unloaded and taken ashore. However, it was warm enough that they began to thaw.
Yeah, 9 hours on Lost. And just to be clear, Castleard, so far. It is like the most in-depth video essay project I'm aware of. Like, he just really liked Lost, and I don't really know of anyone who's, like, attempted to make an analysis on the scale that he has, and so he has gone all in on it. There are, how many total seasons of Lost are there? Like 6? I think there's 6 seasons of Lost. He's through 3 as of the most recent video, and that's like 9 hours altogether.
They say that the stink was horrible.
Now, the only question you have to ask yourself is, how do the 9 persons and the 9 doors factor into those 9 hours?
But there was one body that didn't thaw, and that was...
The girl in the coffin.
That's right. Everybody thought for sure that she'd melt and start to rot like the rest of them eventually. But weeks passed and nothing happened.
Acadia says, never even saw the Lost videos. Like, I genuinely recommend, like, if you have any interest in just, like, the concept of Lost, or, like, the cultural impact it had, like, there's no better resource than his videos on it. Hey, Danger Legs, welcome back. We just heard a story about a woman who was frozen and she wouldn't thaw out. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, honestly, like, you don't need to have seen Lost to watch these videos. They're very thorough. Like, they will explain to you all, like, truly, like, all of the context of Lost that you could possibly conceive of are explained in the videos. Like, you'll miss out on some, like, minutia to the story, but, like, he'll cover the story, the things happening in culture, the things that the writers and producers were working on. I rewatched Lost a couple years ago now, I think. I think it was in 2020, like after we were forced to start working from home at my job. One of my coworkers was like watching shows while she was working, like in the background, and like convinced like a group of people to all like watch Lost because like most of them hadn't seen it. And like I remember, like I watched all of Lost when it was on TV, and I remember not liking the ending, but liking lots of other things that happened. And when I rewatched it, I pretty much feel the same way, except when you don't have to wait like ludicrous amounts of time between the seasons, like was originally the case, it's a lot more palatable. It's worth a watch if it seems interesting to you. I don't think it gets like a blanket recommendation. But Nego, you put on the 9-hour show in the background while you're doing your Etsy work or something, and then you can learn everything you need to know about the first 3 seasons of Lost. That's super helpful, right?
And a month passed, and another. And it was summer, and she was still frozen solid.
Are you saying that she was cold? Let women have their emotions, Seven.
After a
Damn.
while, people started to say she was some sort of miracle. Rumors about her started to spread. People came to visit Halifax from all over. After a while, people started to call her All Ice.
Alright, so because we've been playing Uchikoshi games out of sequence, I don't remember how much I explained this reference when it happened, but in the first Somnium Files game, there's a point where like a mystery occurs, and they're like, alright, to simplify things, we're gonna call this thing we discovered All Ice. And I was like, yeah, I forgot that this game did this. Yep, yep. Well, Casarg says I rewatched all of Star Trek from TOS all the way through DS9 back in 2020. Since the start of the pandemic, I've rewatched Next Generation and Voyager, and recently started watching Deep Space Nine for only like the second time. I didn't really watch it when it first aired, that specific show. Like, I watched Next Gen and Voyager when they were on, but like I was kind of too young to like care about the darker tone and the political aspects of Deep Space Nine. But like I eventually watched it in syndication. It's really good.
Alice.
Not just Ice. That would also be a name, but all Ice works as a woman's name, you see, and she's a hot mummy or whatever.
Of course, those rumors didn't last long.
Why?
Well, she up and disappeared. One day Alice was there, the next day she wasn't.
It just says, I actually want to know, this game has well over 9 hours of gameplay. Yes. It does.
They say someone snuck into where they were keeping her and stole the body. With the body gone, the rumors followed pretty quickly. And after a while, no one remembered her. You might be able to find something about her if you could find a newspaper from back then, but...
You would think there'd be some element of finality to this story. It's weird to be like, once upon a time there was a super hot mummy who was frozen and dead and defied all of our understanding of science. The end. Like, it feels like there should be like something else there, right? Like, that seems weird.
Wait, you just said that she was on this boat.
Yeah, I did. Alice has got to be somewhere on this ship.
Now why the hell would you say something like that?
Because I know.
And just what is it you know?
What happened to Alice after she was stolen?
Alright, tell me. What happened to Alice?
It seems like you would just tell that as part of the story instead of ending the story and then being like, by the way, I know she's here. That can all be one story.
Well, around that time, the word was that there was a special black market in New York. All millionaires from all over the world.
I like the impressionist portrayal of All Ice here. Over 9 hours of gameplay is fine so long as it's over by 9 minutes and 9 seconds. Or so long as the total playtime has a digital root of 9. The digital root is, of course, very important.
I've heard that Alice went up for auction there. The person who won the auction was Lord Dashiell Gordain.
Oh, now we get his first name. Now we're really getting to know this fella.
Heard that name before, right?
Lord Gordain. Oh, isn't he the guy who bought the Gigantic? The Titanic's sister ship.
Yeah, that's him. Although I guess he hadn't done that yet.
Also, I'm pretty sure this guy's wearing this tie wrong. It's supposed to be like a bow tie, right? Why is it all like floating up like right under his neck? Shouldn't it be like around the collar and not flying?
What do you mean?
Gordain bought Alice in 1912. 4 years later, in 1916, he bought the Gigantic, and he hid Alice somewhere on the Gigantic.
Okay, why do you know that, and why would he do it?
Nobody knows where. He died in 1931, and apparently he died without ever telling anyone where Alice was hidden. However,
what?
Well, he did have one close friend who asked him, "Where is Alice?" And he said,
I left all this that I owned in one piece. Was that it? All Ice is the treasure on the Grand Line? I solved one piece?
Alice sleeps in a small chamber past the Forest of Knowledge, the navel of the Gigantic.
I have like a lot of questions about this part of the story that's being recounted right now. Right? So like, sure, Lord Gordain, I think we said he'd survived the Titanic and was rich and wanted to collect Titanic things. And so, like, assuming that Alice was, you know, on the Titanic because she was found among the wreckage, like, sure, she, the sexy mummy, was a collectible from the ocean. I don't like that sentence. And then he bought himself a copy of the Titanic, sure. But then, like, there's no account of what happened to Alice, except the account of what happened to Alice when a single individual asked him where Alice was, and he responded to that one person, and then, like, who did he tell that we heard the story? And he said, "Scrap." That would be an interesting answer, also.
What the hell is that? Is it some kind of riddle?
Your guess is as good as mine. So that's it. Whatever you think, I believe it. She's hidden somewhere on the Gigantic. In other words, she's hidden somewhere on this ship.
Hey, what are you two doing over there?
I mean, I almost feel like a better question is like, what were you doing during that entire conversation, such that we were able to have that and you didn't notice that we were both still in that room?
Stop wasting time and get over here.
Okay, we're coming.
Jeez.
Yeah, so anyway, that's the story. It might be useful someday. Don't forget it.
What a ridiculous thing to say. It might be useful to know about that sexy frozen mummy lady, so don't forget it.
Alice. Huh.
That mummy wasn't just a normal mummy. They say
She was mummy thick.
she was frozen. The story says that from the time of its discovery all the way through to when it got put on the Titanic. Even though it was carried through the desert, her body never melted.
It's true. This frozen mummy was presumably stronger than your mom.
Then was that Egyptian priestess Alice? Did the water in her body become Ice 9? No, that's nuts. There's no way somebody like that could exist.
We just got yelled at for being in this room. How are we still here? Okay, we left. So is this where we came from? That's the door we came through. You're saying there's no point in going back, huh? And they're nodding. Awesome. Get back out and then left. Cool, it's unlocked. Alright, that time I had to use the key, but I did it. Ooh. A piece of paper. What have we here? Is this some kind of medical record? New material's been added to the file screen. Oh crap, what button is that? Probably can't access it from this mode. I remembered, sort of. Does it always start me on 2, or does it remember that I was on 2 some other time? The medical record. A medical record found in the preparation room. It has records for the 2 mannequins. There's a male mannequin named John and a female named Lucy. The record shows each mannequin's total weight and the weight of their individual parts. Okay. Do I just use that during the puzzle? That wasn't, like, useful information. I found a beaker! I found it. Dibs! Dibs on that beaker! There are 4 lights! Each one a different color. White, red, blue, and purple. Does this thing react to something and then the lights light up? There's a ray of light going through the beaker. And it's hitting the thing on the right. White light is glowing. Yeah, but the red, blue, and purple ones still aren't lit. Okay. A sink. The doctors and nurses probably washed their hands in here before an operation. Nothing suspicious here. Only in so much as I don't like to let characters wash their hands playing video games. That's not the fiction that I created for them. What are you doing? Don't you want to get out of here? But I'm tired! There's something weird about Clover. I don't know if you feel the same way that I do. But, you know, Clover's been, like, basically inconsolable since Snake disappeared. And then the second that we get her in this particular escape room, she starts trolling so hard. She's, like, no longer concerned about Snake at all. She's just messing around constantly. It's weird because, like, outside of that, she's pretty consistent. I see. There's a symbol engraved over the keyhole. Hey, this is a Jupiter symbol. Wasn't this Jupiter symbol engraved on the keyhole in the other door? Other door? The door at the end of the hallway with all those rooms. You think maybe this door and that door use the same key? Maybe. What's this? A light switch? Doesn't seem to be working. It won't open. It looks like it's locked. There's a red plate on it. Do you think that means something? Anything else over here I need to care about? It's just like the one drawer, yeah? Alright. Those controls are weird. I have in my inventory currently. Oh, that's right, I got liquid from the other room. I forgot about that with all the talk of sexy mummies. Let me get some of that good red liquid. Hey, it turned red! Forget about that. Didn't you hear that just now? I need to activate color-coded lasers in order to unlock the lockers. That's why everything is coded with colors, you see. They're making cupcakes while watching this. Oh, thanks, Danger. That's kind of you. Also, nice choice on the cupcakes. What type of cupcakes? I'm curious. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Angel. I hope that things turn out well for you. See you tomorrow. Yes, we're gonna be playing Darkside Detective. I think I have it working. Good lord. Cadius would die trying to do this puzzle. Like, so, this is a thing that I struggle to fully comprehend. Is that, like... There's certainly things that, like, being colorblind make more difficult. But, like, being, like, completely blind to all color is pretty rare, right? Like, Arcadius is red-green colorblind? So, like, he still perceives colors, they just look different than the way they do to us. Would that make it impossible for him to do a puzzle like this? Wouldn't he just sort of compensate for his perception of that? I genuinely don't know, I could be completely wrong. Ooh, chocolate with whipped cream frosting. Excellent choice. I'm jealous, Dangerlegs. Right foot of the medical mannequin. I guess it's a woman's foot, but dang! Doesn't look hot at all. 7, we need to talk, except I don't want to be there for the conversation we need to have. You got a thing for feet, 7? No, that's crazy. Sure acting kinda shady. Ain't calling me baby, why the sudden change? Blue goo? Blue liquid. You. It's blue now. I think I heard another noise. Could be unrelated. Could be stray noise. I got a leg. This is the left foot of the mannequin. Do you think I'm better? Nani? Do you think my legs are skinnier? Clover, I don't have the spoons to have this conversation with you either. There's a lot of, like, mannequin foot-related conversations that this game wants me to have that I'm just not mentally prepared for, frankly. Alright, one more. Luckily, these colors are basic. Give me some of that blue liquid. And then also the red liquid. Oh, I get it. You combine the red liquid and the blue liquid to make a purple. Good job, Junpei! The purple light came on and I heard it unlock. I'm sure it's unlocked. The locker with the purple plate has gotta be unlocked. The locked locker is now an unlocked locker because you unlocked the locker. Alright, let's see what happened. I don't want to think about the word locker anymore. It's hurting my brain. Fake stomach? I guess you could call it that. Torso feels more appropriate, and it sort of looks like a big old nose, Frank. This is a really big nose! See, it's like a really big nose. It says to Arcadius, everything either looks yellow, green, brown, or blue. Can't see pinks, purples, reds, gray, or orange. Huh. That's tough. That's no nose, it's a stomach. Oh, stomach. Alright, I got a bunch of crap. Gotta empty my pockets. You know what that means? I don't know if you know what that means. Yeah, I think that's tripped me up every time I play this. Just to clarify. So I turn left down this hallway. And then I go through the door marked preparation room. And then, you know, here's the hallway that presumably, you know, I click the right arrow to turn down it to go into the room we were just puzzle solving in. And then I hit back, but then I hit back again. Which, like, makes a certain amount of sense, but it kind of implies that you walked your way backwards out of that hallway, and that just doesn't seem normal. That gets me every time. Is this the angle I want? It is. An old hard bed. Do I have to combine stuff in my inventory? How do I make you accept my woman parts? I know what I said. Will you please accept my woman parts? Okay, so we've collected the 6 parts of the medical mannequin, and now we know where the Battle City finals are. So you think these, parts here go to this, Oh, you mean Lucy? That's her name, I think. See, it says Lucy right here. Oh, yeah, right. Well, it doesn't look like John is missing any of his parts. Typical men. So the one we've got must be for Lucy, right? Yeah. Seems like it. Well, I say we give Lucy her parts back. That's one of my favorite 90s movies, is how Lucy got her parts back. Did anyone else see that movie? I think it had Whoopi Goldberg in it, or something. Any objections? Nope. Agreed. Alright, let's get started. I did it. I gave Lucy her parts back. Hey! Nothing happened. That's odd. Maybe it's the wrong weight. Weight? Yeah, well, you know how there's a scale on the side of the bed? Maybe. We need to get the scale to a specific number. How are we gonna do that? I think we're supposed to swap her body parts with John's. That's so lewd. That's so lewd. Oh! Let's give it a shot. Operating instructions. The screen will display 2 medical mannequins. You can switch their body parts by selecting the part you want to switch out. Alright, so I'm gonna level with you here. You could do this trial and error. Pretty much your goal is just to get them to the same weight. For some reason, this is a puzzle that, like, I spent enough time on that I just, like, definitely remember the solution. I say before embarrassing myself. But if I remember correctly, you only need to make 2 swaps. Arm, heart. Is that wrong? Or do they need to be the same, or do they need to be specific numbers? I'm pretty sure it's 2 swaps and 1 is heart. I thought arm was the other one. Oh no! I'm remembering it backwards. I need 51 kilograms. Or I have 51 kilograms? How do I check the actual file? Medical record. Ah, there we go. I need 51.3 for John and 53.2 for Lucy. Okay, I think I remembered it backwards. I think I remembered the thing. No, just like do it. Because I remember the conversation you end up having as a result of this, I think is what makes it... So... There it is. It's not you change 2 parts, it's that only 2 parts remain the same. But, like, it'll sort of make sense why I remember that, like, it's a very specific iteration of switching them. You can do a trial and error. It's kind of obnoxious, particularly in the remake, since you can't really look at the information at the same time you're looking at the puzzle. I think you can do that in the DS version, but maybe I'm just misremembering. It's been a while since I played it, and its controls are definitely different than the other games in the series. Hey, Junpei, I just heard something. Came from John's operating team. It's been a while since you played the puzzle, but I hope it's Ship of Theseus. Oh, you're in luck, Castelarg. It's definitely Ship of Theseus. It is very specifically the Ship of Theseus that we're about to talk. Oh, we have to do John's, you said, right? Oh man, the speedrunner strat would definitely be to solve this puzzle from John's point of view. Of course, from John's point of view, the Sith or the Jedi are evil. I screwed up the bad joke. The lid on the scale open, and it has the Jupiter key. Now I can become Sailor Jupiter. Well, I get it. It must have opened because I matched John's weight to what's on the chart. You know, fun fact, this is actually exactly what happens when I go in for a physical, too. Like, Doctor matches my weight, and then he gets a Jupiter key. Never really understood it until I played this game. This way. No, I have to go back to the preparation room. This game doesn't have standardized exits to its escape rooms, which is a little weird.
Hey, hold on.
Oh, what's up?
Where's Clover?
Huh? Oh, God damn it. Where the hell did she go?
Just swearing for the sake of swearing now.
Okay, just hold on a minute. I'll go get her.
Sure thing.
Hey, Clover, what's wrong? Come on, let's get out of here.
Does the doctor swap out all but 2 of your body parts to get your weight correct? Yeah, it's uncomfortable that he always changes my heart out. It feels like you don't want that. Or at least it feels that way to me. Look, I got a weird doctor, and I don't, frankly, recommend him. I wouldn't give him a referral to you, if that's how that sentence works.
What are you doing? Did you want to come back here and say goodbye to John?
Are you friends?
Hey, Clover, can you hear me?
It's comedy gold over here, Clover.
My brother might be dead.
Yeah, but you didn't laugh at my joke, Clover, and that's the real crime here.
Huh?
That's why we couldn't find him. If he's dead, I'm going to be next.
What are you talking about? What's wrong with you?
What do you want to do? Is your doctor Dr. Pepper by any chance? No, he's Dr. Spachemin, if you've ever heard of him. He's highly recommended, but not by me. Dr. Chikara. No one survives Dr. Chikara. This feels like a really weird prompt, doesn't it, chat? What do you think we should do? Do you think we should tell Clover that we need to leave, or give her a 4-leaf clover? This is one of those things that only happens in a video game, that, like, the only 2 options you have are basically GTFO or give the girl a bookmark. Alright, chat seems to want to give Clover a clover. There's something poetic about it. Why don't we do that?
Oh, yeah. It's in my pocket somewhere. A 4-leaf clover. Hey, did you know? Each leaf means something. Hope, faith, love, and luck.
I know a specific guy who hates those 4 things. It's a really confusing story. Basically, don't trust Santa. I think he's insane.
That's what a 4-leaf clover stands for. Take it. Use it as a good luck charm. Listen to me, Clover. No matter what happens, you can never lose hope. You have to remember what's most important, and that's to have faith and to have love. If you can remember all of those, that'll bring you good luck.
Remember to have love. I feel like that undersells some element of agency. Santa was a sussy baka the entire time. I don't disagree with you. Lex.
Snake, I mean, your brother. He's not dead. He's alive, somewhere. I'm sure of it. You've just gotta believe in that.
He just had too much jam in the alternate timeline we just came from. Don't worry about it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, come on. Seven's waiting for us at the exit.
Wait, before we go, there's one thing I want to ask you.
I feel like this is such a loaded sentence in an Uchikoshi game. Like, when someone says, like, there's something I want to ask you, it could mean, like, literally anything. I mean, when a person asks you this in real life, it could technically be anything, because you just don't know, because you haven't been the observer of the quantum physics phenomenon of collapsing the waveform and experiencing exactly one outcome from that scenario. But in these games, you could have a discussion about quantum physics as a result of this for no reason at all.
What's that?
What do you think when you hear the word experiment?
What?
Oh. I guess it was just a coincidence then. I mean, that you knew about the four-leaf clover.
Look, I'm sorry. I don't want to be a jerk, but you are making less than no sense right now.
Ah, Junpei, don't be silly. We all know you want to be a jerk.
Oh, no. It's nothing. Just forget about it.
Oh, don't give me that. You really think I could just drop this? What is this experiment you were talking about?
You promise you won't tell anyone?
Cross my heart.
Really?
Really?
I can trust you, right?
Yeah, I just gave you a bookmark. Like, what else can I do to appear trustworthy?
Of course you can.
Okay then, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what happened on this ship 9 years ago.
Wait. On this ship?
Yeah, this ship. It was an experiment to test some sort of psychic thing.
You know, I'm starting to think that everyone got picked to be a part of the non-raid game just because they had, like, extremely long stories that they could tell about Titanic-style cruise liners.
Communicating through these fields that you can't see.
Fields that you can't see?
Nani?
Like, think about this. This is John, right? But is he really John?
I mean, as a popular singer once put it, dude looked like a lady.
Huh?
Isn't this like Locke's socks? Or the ship of Theseus?
Hey, there you go, Castlearg. I knew you were waiting for it.
You don't know? You haven't heard of those paradoxes?
No?
You call yourself a character in an Uchikoshi game and you don't even know Locke's socks.
Really?
Yeah, picture an egg, everyone. We're gonna do a deep dive on some philosophy or something.
Okay, well pay attention then. This is how Locke's socks works. Let's say I've got a pair of socks. They're my favorite socks. One of them gets a hole in it. What would you do if that was your sock, Junpei?
I mean, I'd probably just throw it away.
Well, I'd pitch it, I guess.
But it's your favorite pair of socks.
I don't have those. Do normal people have those? I don't think I have those. You should apologize to those socks. It's practically blasphemy, right, Neko?
Come on, who loves their socks that much?
It doesn't matter. Just suppose you do love them that much.
Shut up, Junpei. Oh, you have nice socks. All of my socks are basically interchangeable, so I don't really have feelings about them. Cow socks sound like good socks. Cat socks. These are good socks. See, you make a compelling argument, chat. I concede to you.
Well, I guess then I'd patch it.
But what if another hole opens?
I'd add another patch.
What if another hole opened after that?
Over, I feel like you're getting a little too excited about this.
Another patch, I guess?
Well, let's say you just keep adding new patches.
But what if you've done 6 patches? The scientific upper limit of how many patches you could put on a single pair of socks. What then, Junpei? What then?
Until eventually, the original cloth of the sock is totally gone. Once you get to that point...
You can see the cat faces through the windows in your shoes? You have shoes with sock windows? Were they, like, specially made to work together, Neko? That sounds amazing.
Can you really say they're the same socks you started with?
You know, I stopped looking at this photo for like 5 seconds, but I'm pretty sure this is what it looked like to begin with.
Well, that's tough. So, that's the Locke socks thing?
Yeah, the ship of Theseus is a lot like it. The ship of Theseus. If you keep fixing the damaged parts of a ship, eventually it ends up with none of the parts it started with. Can you really say that ship is the same one you started with? And what if you took all the old parts from the first ship and built another one somewhere else? Then which ship is the real ship of Theseus? The one you repaired, or the one you built with all the original parts?
I mean, the precise way you described that last bit doesn't feel particularly relevant, because, like, if you took all the non-functional parts of a boat away from that boat, and then built a new boat that like definitely doesn't float. I don't care what you call it. It's not good. You shouldn't sail that.
Do you think it's the same?
What's the same?
These guys. Is this John? Or is it Lucy now?
John's head and heart are both his, but apart from those and a single arm, the rest of his body was once Lucy's.
This is the part where I mostly remembered the answer to that puzzle. I thought it was that you only switched 2 parts, but it's you only keep 2 parts. You end up with like kind of a similar, you know, end result of them talking about the Ship of Theseus thing. Yeah, exactly. All the old parts of the ship were broken. Who cares what you call it? I call it a shipwreck.
We're just like these mannequins. Think about it. The cells in our body change every day. Old ones die and new ones are born.
But there's like certain cells that like don't regenerate.
Maybe
though.
part of my arm is made of stuff from a fish I ate once. Or maybe part of your right side is made from a cow you ate. If you take it a little further, those cows and fishes are made from something else too, right? That's how we're all connected. Through fields that can't be seen with the naked eye.
Oh, I thought she was going to say through fish and cow. Are we not all connected by fish and cow? Is somehow the point of that conversation?
Hey, what the hell is taking you two so long? How long are you gonna make me wait? We don't have time to screw around.
Yeah, in defense of 7 here, we've literally, at this point, solved the escape room. And he's like, can I just have the key to leave?
Oh? What were you two doing? Was this some sort of secret meeting?
No, it wasn't. We were just
Just...
playing with the mannequins.
Huh?
Let's go, Junpei.
Playing with mannequins, huh?
No, it's not what it sounds like. We were playing doctor. No, wait, that's worse.
Didn't know you were into that kind of thing, June.
You're a dick. All right.
Also, I feel like
I'm
he
gonna
did know
open
I
it
was
now.
into that sort of
Is
thing.
that cool?
Unless he's talking about, like, being attracted to mannequin feet, because he was the one who was doing that.
You don't need to keep asking, just do it, alright?
Fine then.
I'll never, it's funny to me now that I've played these games enough to, like, really pay attention to it, but I just don't understand why, I don't understand the thing where it's like, I'm gonna open the door.
All right. Let's get going.
Like, even in the context of this, the first game in the series, when it, like, doesn't actually come up that much, it happens enough for the characters to be like, Junpei, like, don't. Like, what? Why?
Hey man, what's up with you? You're so serious, you know? Can't you sound more happy, you know, get a little excited?
Well, I was trying to get excited about some mannequins in the other room, and then you were making it a problem for me.
Not really.
My brother might be dead. I'm going to be next.
But what if we replaced all of his parts with mannequin parts? Then would he be dead? That's exactly like the Ship of Theseus thing she proposed. So if, hypothetically, we were to find his corpse behind, I don't know, like the 3 door, like the number 3 door, just throwing that out there as just like a possible thing that could happen. But like if we found like his whole corpse there, and then we traded all the parts of his corpse with like John the mannequin, would your brother be dead or would he be a mannequin? Right? Did I understand the exercise correctly?
Like hell I can. Not after hearing something like that.
Oh, I found it. Yeah, look at that.
There too, huh?
I save here, I think. Yeah, let's save here. This one. Beep boop. Turn to title screen, you betcha. I'll just leave it like that. Hello, it's me, Big Vasco. What did I find? I found it! Meaning the escape of the room. Every time you start an escape segment, it says seek a way out with like a little chime. And then when you finish it, it says you found it with like a happy elevator noise. That's the only way I know how to describe it. But yeah, got a lot done. So I've been trying to gauge how long I think this game will take, since I haven't done the version that has the flowchart, and that definitely changes the math some amount. Also, I'm not entirely sure I've ever clocked how long it takes me to beat any particular Zero Escape game. I think at some point I did the math for maybe the later ones. I'm sure I did it for Virtue's Last Reward at some point. That game is longer than 999, for sure. But I think we're closer than I think we are, which I know is a really unhelpful sentence. But the flowchart really changes the math on that. However, there's still, like, a lot to do. So I don't think we're in danger of just, like, accidentally finishing the whole game or something. Just noting that we're making good progress. I mean, we solved a bunch of puzzles today. We're down to, what, like, two of the rooms that we put on polls are remaining. And they're both after the door we went through. Now, at some point, we're going to have some weird conversations about the nature of how the flowchart works, the stuff I had to look up today. Which I guess in some sense is a really incredibly vague and unhelpful spoiler, but is the amount of information I'm willing to give to you. I appreciate everyone coming and watching. It means a lot to me. I've been trying to get people excited about this. It is one of my favorite games of all time. We got a lot done, like I said. Lots of puzzle rooms. Somehow found the same ending a second time. If we were trying to do this the most efficient way possible, then I suppose I would have made it so that we would only... That we wouldn't choose the number 2 door doing anything other than going through the number 3 door. It's one of those interactions that I don't typically memorize, which is like, shortcut to when do I want to go through door number 2 and get the submarine ending. But we will very quickly, maybe not that quickly, we will somewhat soon find ourselves looking down the barrel of some other outcome for the story. So yeah, tomorrow is October, which is horrifying, frankly. But it does also mean that we're going to start playing spooky games on Saturdays, which what I was kind of trying to do before, but the game we started playing wasn't spooky, despite having a main character haunted by a ghost. It's weird. It's a weird game. So what that means is that we'll be back with more 999 next Friday at the same time, 6 p.m. Pacific. But tomorrow, at that same time, 6 p.m. Pacific, we will be starting the Dark Side Detective. And hopefully, my computer will both run and stream it. Because it has decided that it is a challenging game in that respect. It is also worth noting, and we'll talk more about this tomorrow maybe, when I put together that poll on our Discord to figure out what spooky games to play, I tried to give an estimate based on like a real cursory amount of search that doesn't spoil any story stuff of like roughly how long each of those games was. Dark Side Detective, it was implied that it'd be like somewhere in the neighborhood of 8 hours total, I think, which is like 2-ish streams depending on how they go. While I was setting that game up, some information came to light that suggests it could be considerably longer than that. So we'll play that by ear and figure out what that means together, starting tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific. But before we can complete this stream and move on to tomorrow, there's one final order of business to consider. And that is that somewhere on the couch behind me, I've hidden a secret Squirtle. As always, if you can see a Squirtle like this fellow up here, that one's not a secret. But under or behind somewhere on what I'm calling family photo collage of characters, I've hidden a Squirtle. And if you can locate that Squirtle, well, it will earn you some good luck in the week to come. So I encourage you to take a moment while I perhaps finish this meager supply of 100% juice apple and see if you can find that Squirtle. Because I imagine we could all use some good luck, especially going into a spooky haunted month like October, really. And I gotta, like, pay rent again. And, like, a bunch of work stuff always ticks over at the start of the month. I just don't appreciate it, you know? This whole passage of time concept, it's not for me. If only there was a way for us to live in a non-linear fashion, all experiences all at once. I don't really understand how that would work, and it's probably terrible. Thanks for watching, Demolition. Thank you. Alright, let's gather the guesses. So, Nickwood said Pirate Eevee or Hollow Knight. Red Ranger, Squidbeard. Any last second takers? I got a little juice apple. Experiences all at once sounds like a workday that would break you. That's just like 20% of all workdays in general, Neko, but like you'd be able to offset it with like whatever the good stuff that I assume happens at some point. At some point. Existential crazies are fun, especially at the end of like a full 8-hour workday and then like a 3.5-hour stream at the end of the week. That all seems like a great combination. Let's go for Squirtle. Ah, my legs. Best way to do this. We'll start here because it's close at hand. Here is. Let's start with this. This is Eevee dressed up as both a pirate captain and a Driftblim. This is very good. I brought it out for October. This Eevee will be hanging out. This is very good Halloween costume Eevee. From like the Circus Halloween dress-up collection from like several years ago now. That particular Eevee was hiding Donut Cat. Cat and Donut reunited at last. Frequently they are separate. But now they are butthole. Unfortunately not a Squirtle. So I guess under a red Power Ranger. So that behind the Driftblim he was holding up with its enormous tag was our tiny Vasco stand-in. However, underneath the red Power Ranger is really just the big baguette trying to hold him up. No Squirtle back there, and if I try to move that thing, my entire couch will explode. Yes. See if I can do this without ruining something. Here's Squidbeard, everyone's friend who mostly lives on top of the couch because he's one of the only things that can live on top of the couch without falling off of it. Nothing hiding under there today. Sometimes I get cheeky and hide something there, but it's kind of difficult to make it work. It is, however, a good excuse to showcase that he's been holding on to this little guy. This little trick-or-treat ghost that I brought out a couple weeks ago when I thought I was playing a spooky game that I wasn't playing. Well, I was playing the game, but it wasn't spooky. You get the idea. Yes, indeed, a ghost. You do you, Squidbeard. I think the other one I saw was under Hollow Knight. And while there's a bit of a mess here in the middle, I will say that hiding underneath Baby Yoda and behind our dress-up giraffe cat, and together with Hollow Knight, is our secret Squirtle. Sort of arranged in such a way that there were many correct guesses, but indeed, this, our friend Hollow Knight was pretty much standing right on top of him. And there you go. So congratulations to Neko for finding the secret Squirtle, and to anyone at home who may have stuck around to this part of the stream, which I assume is 0% of humanity. Yeah, I appreciate everyone coming out and hanging out. Love hearing people's theories. I do love the idea of Zero the evil math teacher. Will that be the ultimate solution? The only way to find out is to keep watching these streams. So join me next Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific. Tomorrow, some Dark Side Detective, which looks like a lot of fun. And that's where the stream will end. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Thanks for being you, and I hope to see you again soon. In the meantime, stay safe and take care of yourselves. I look forward to you joining me for another journey. Night, everybody. Tag noises.